Hello and welcome, everyone. We're joining you live from Seattle, just at the eve of the launch of the Kickstarter for the Cyberpunk TCG. My name is Pavel Buja. I am joined by my co-host Cree, as always.
Very
how
happy
you doing?
to be here. I'm very excited. Yeah, the eve of the Kickstarter launch. It's been a lot building up to this. I know all of our fans are super excited. I've been interacting in the Discord, on socials, and people have been itching to see the Kickstarter page, right?
Yeah.
We've been teasing out the pledge tiers, and in today's stream, we're just going to dive even deeper into a couple of different topics. So the first one we'll be doing is art after this introduction section. However, I do want to introduce
our guests
and Laura. How's it going?
Hello. It's going great. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about art. My favorite thing today.
So Johnny is the founding creative director, and we have Lohan, who is the co-founder, co-CEO of WeirdCo, who is actually working on and creating the game for us. Yep.
Super excited to be here. It's been a long time coming. I know the community is super hyped. We're hyped. It's going to be a good stream. And the next 24 hours, 48 hours are going to be very exciting.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah, lots of different things we'll be talking about today. We will have art, we'll have game design, we will have organized play.
Wait. For that one, we need to pause. Organized play. Like this is what people are waiting for,
one.
right?
It's a big one.
This is the one.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I'm super excited
Me
for.
too.
So I think we're ending on a high note. We also have some cool stuff in terms of like products and that we could probably
There we go. Let's show off the products.
Some playmats you haven't seen, also some versions of metal cards that you haven't seen before. We'll be showing those a little bit closer onto the camera later on when we're talking about the products themselves. But yeah, like that's it.
That's it. Yeah. And we'll also be doing a section kind of talking about Kickstarter. We'll be talking about I guess WeirdCo as a whole. A lot of us have come together to make this project happen. We're a remote company, so being here with everybody is super awesome. And I'm really excited to get straight into it. So let's jump into art. We're gonna show you guys a quick trailer, and then we'll be getting straight into it.
Yeah, let's
Don't
do
go
it.
anywhere, guys.
Good morning, Night City!
Johnny Silverhand sends his cards.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
And we have more guests. We're actually going to cover the topic of art, which I think is, when it comes to the card game, it is one of the biggest things.
Yes.
Like the art is the thing that everybody kind of notices is like, oh, I love this, I love that. Oh my God, I love this. I have the same feeling every time I see a new art that you guys show me. I'm like, man, this is so exciting. So we actually have two guests with us. So Johnny, you already met. But we also have Matt with us, who's a print designer, but he also does a lot more when it comes to
Way
TCG.
more.
Yes,
And also helps with all the cool assets that we use for streams and stuff like that. So Matt, thank you for joining us.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Happy to be here.
Yeah, beautiful accent also.
Thank you.
You don't like the disgusting New York accent?
No, it's all good. No one's shaming here. No one's shaming. So guys, let's dive in because people already know how the art looks, but let's talk about the visual identity and kind of what you wanted to capture in Cyberpunk 2077. Because we as CDPR, we know what we want from the game, how it looks. But transitioning this to a card game, like what were some of the core principles that you were thinking about?
Sure, yeah. Very early on, as soon as I got started on this project, I wanted to kind of figure out and distill how can we capture Cyberpunk into this card game and into the art specifically. And so we came up with 3 key pillars. The first one is bleed Cyberpunk, and that's one of the most important, if not the most important one. As soon as you look at this, it needs to feel like a Cyberpunk game. And that means different things, right? There's the video game made by CD Projekt Red. There's the tabletop RPG. There's the comics. There's also a ton. There's edgerunners, obviously, and so we want to make sure we're accurately capturing all of that, all those different mediums into our card game. And so our look and feel is all of that, but it's also some of our own identity in terms of what makes a card special. And so we get to work really closely with CD Projekt Red, but we also get to work with really closely with some of the artists that we've found and discovered and are very talented to bring some amazing card art to this game. Second principle is make Night City a character. So you should see that in all of the card art. Night City feels alive. It should feel like the places you visited in the game and you know about. And lastly is make things obvious.
I'm happy that you mentioned that because we say that, Night City is actually one of the main protagonists within the game. It is also the antagonist.
Absolutely.
So the city is supposed to be something that is the main character. V is just, let's say, a vessel that is moving through the city. But the city has a lot of stories and it has a lot of ways that you can interact with it. But it is the thing that is one of the core important things for the video game itself.
Yeah, it's bleak, it's violent. There's no happy endings, but it's really fun to also, or really cool to experience as well.
Exactly.
And then lastly is make things obvious. And that happens both in terms of our card art, in terms of making sure, hey, our rare cards feel rare and they look rare, but then also making sure that our frames are built in a way that the game elements are obvious as well. You should know exactly what kind of card you're playing with when you pick it up, and you should know how rare it is, etc. And you should know what it does. And so all of those things come together to make sure that we're making a really special looking card game.
For sure, yeah. Before we dive into talking about print design and all the awesome work that you've been doing, Matthew, we have a couple of images here depicting some of the art. So I wanted to go through, showcase some of our incredible artists working on this game. And as you mentioned already, Birza, we have a lot of CDPR artists working on this game.
That's really cool.
The style that this work depicts is just incredible. Some of my favorite pieces from our game are from the likes of All Geared here. We have Michael Ivan and stuff. So Johnny, feel free to talk us through this piece that we see here. Right, this is the two
V's.
Street Kids.
Absolutely, yeah. So we knew we wanted to kind of do this mirror composition, and big shout out to CD Projekt Red for creating this art. It's really easy when we work with such talented artists to make sure our card game does look beautiful. But you can very instantaneously see, hey, where exactly this is taking place. You can see Jackie in the background, obviously, and it really does feel like a moment that you could experience in the game itself.
Yeah, beating someone up in an alley is totally Cyberpunk.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, we have Michael Ivan, we have this incredible Royce Psycho on the Edge piece, and then even this, I remember the first time I saw this psychotic goon, right? Of course, we're going to have very iconic characters from Cyberpunk, and we're going to have, it's a TCG, so we'll have some common and uncommon characters. When I saw this art, I was like, is this the art for one of our basic cards?
Yes.
I was like, this is incredible.
It's epic.
Yes. Yeah. The bar is very high. No matter the rarity of the card, we want to make sure it's special, because when you're opening that pack, you want to feel like you've gotten something really cool, even if you don't know what it does yet. And so specifically with the Psychotic Goon, right, we wanted to introduce the Animals gang somehow, and this was a perfect way to do it. And so it's very visceral, like I said, very violent, but incredibly exciting too.
Yeah. I also love that when it comes to the art, you really capture super well the feeling of each gang, because each gang in Night City is super distinct, and I feel like the art totally does it. So
for sure,
kudos,
we're gonna go through some more pieces here. So we have Daniel's work here. We've got the Carrie. We've got the Evelyn.
Daniel Velasquez, he's freaking amazing.
Incredible,
artist. Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, I love this work. I especially love if you go back to that one.
Sure.
I love Evelyn here with the shattered glass.
Yeah.
It's
one of our earliest pieces actually. So
really?
It's really fun. Yeah, and when you do things this early, it really sets the tone on figuring out, hey, what do we like? What do we want to improve on? Is this the identity that we're going to go forward with? And Evelyn does a really good job of doing that.
Totally.
For sure. Yeah, we have
we got
Lucas.
Yes.
I know this is one of your favorite pieces, the Dum Dum, Johnny.
The Dum Dum is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dum Dum is awesome.
Łukasz
Honestly,
Polar
both of
is
them are awesome.
incredible talent. I'm super glad to have him as part of the team.
And-
I love his work.
Yeah, speaking about, we get a bit of an insight into the framed up cards here, Matthew. So this is the Atom Smasher, the metal over meat piece.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the iconic frame, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep. This is the iconic frame. Yep.
So, we can get into it when we'll showcase some of the metal cards, but I'm curious if you could kind of talk through some of the stuff that goes into framing cards, right? Because I know that we have this kind of vision of at each rarity, something new happens, right? You kind of go from, you've got like the common, you've got uncommon, and then from rare upwards, there are cool things we do. There's foiling, there's frame break. So talk to us a little bit about kind of what goes into that, because I've worked with you very closely, and I love how pixel perfect you get on these things. You make sure that these frames are super awesome. So yeah, we would love to hear a little bit more about your work.
Yeah, well, when framing these cards, we worked with Wild Blue to kind of like develop this kind of like, they give us like a toolkit, like a frame toolkit, so that we can like develop the frames and like evolve as the game evolves, and change things here and there to make it fit and look exactly how we want to. We're trying to find like a nice balance between the frames being aesthetically pleasing and feel like they actually fit in the cyberpunk world. At the same time, making sure everything's laid out in like a nice clean way, so that everything's just looks nice and nothing's like sitting on top of each other. All the elements have like enough space. But in terms of the frames, it's we like to have a clear distinction between all the rarities. So like you have the common and uncommon, which kind of just look like they still look beautiful in their own way. But obviously they're just like they just don't have anything fun going on around the outside. But then you jump up to rare, and then we get this nice kind of glow around the frame, which adds like a nice clear distinction. And then we add like a kind of like a glow vignette as well, which adds like another layer to the rare card. And then once we jump up to epic and secret, that's when we start to have a little bit more fun. We do a little more of the frame breaking. We have a few other elements that come in. Like the text box changes slightly. Just so as people can look. They don't even have to look at the rarity symbol. They know.
This is hugely important. It's
Make
something
things
that-
obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
obvious.
Yeah.
Like when you open a pack of Cyberpunk TCG, you should instantly know,
Instantly
hey,
know
I've
what
opened
you're
something
open. Yeah.
Without a
killer.
doubt, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want you to have to Google the card number. I want you to immediately see the card and just eyes pop, and you are excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right, we're gonna go through some more art pieces. You were teasing some of the rarities there.
Yeah.
Something the community's been asking for a while is they have been actually noticing all of the different icons and been saying, what's the full rarity scope? So we will have a graphic shortly, and we'll be able to dive deeper through those. But another artist we have here,
Yeah.
incredible Atom Smasher piece, and you mentioned the gang pieces as well, right?
Yes. So we actually, the Tiger Claws here, perfect way to showcase some really this cool Japanese vibe to it. Looks like a little bit of a Yakuza type of deal. So totally fits the bill. And of course we have Smasher once again, and I think this is a fan favorite for sure. Like when we first showcased the art, people were like, "Oh man, I really want this."
The
one.
thing about these ones for me is like we talk about this a lot. Like this is a what we refer to internally as like a base piece, right?
Right.
So this is the Atom Smasher legend that you will see quite commonly, and then you will have the iconic version. This to be the base piece is just incredible, in my opinion. Yeah.
We always want to hit it out of the park, and I think all of the artists do. And it's probably the most fun part of the job.
Yeah.
Every time you get see a new art piece and see what's coming in the pipeline, get so excited. So yeah, and then you mentioned the comics,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
That's another medium that we're kind of exploring. So these are by Rian Chow, and this is from the XOXO comic.
Yep.
We're featuring Screw here. So what was that like for you, Johnny? As you said, being able to kind of explore another medium. Like that.
This is fun because my old world was very comic book focused, and so to then also dive into the world of comics with this new IP with Cyberpunk has been a ton of fun for me personally, and getting to see the expression of art through comics and how that's different from the game, from edgerunners, and how we can bring that into the TCG and be inspired from it as well and lean into it for some of our original pieces. It's been wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah, actually, we have a question from chat. So if you guys don't know watching, if you have any questions, leave them in chat.
Please do.
We have one from Main Deck Games, who did an awesome gameplay.
Oh, Main Deck Dan. Yeah. Awesome.
He did an awesome gameplay feature for the Alpha Kit once he got it. So his question is, what rough percentage of the art in set 1 is reused from previous media versus completely new art for the TCG? If you could more or less give us a number.
That's a great question. the majority of it is going to be new pieces, originals, which is very exciting for us. And the good news is it's always going to increase in more and more original art as we continue to build out the game.
Yeah, and like all of the pieces that we have as well, we've got like they're very classic cyberpunk pieces. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we've seen, it just looks incredible.
Exactly.
You know, so yeah, great question there from Dan. So we'll keep moving through, looking at some more stuff here. So this is the Rarity system. So Matthew, feel free to talk us through the different rarities, and like you said, if you want to talk about what's special about each of them on a frame, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So we have the common and uncommon. So obviously they'll be the ones that you typically will get in the pack, and they'll just have all the necessary information on, all the cool artwork. And then as we jump up to rare, that's when you'll start to see some of the differences in the frame. So the glows will come in. We start to have a small amount of treatments come in. Maybe like a little bit of hollow foil here and there. Epic rare. This is where we'll start to do some frame breaking elements. Kind of like working with the art just to make sure that we can pull all the things out. To make it look as special as possible. As well as adding a few more treatments. As we kind of go like up towards like iconic. You'll get a few more treatments just so when we get to iconic rare, you'll have like all the full treatments that we have to make it look all lovely and pretty. Not jumping too ahead of myself. We'll have secret rare next. As we have some changes to the text box. A few more treatments come in, and then the iconic rare will be the ones that people absolutely love to see. It'd be like full art. You'll have like the nice raised texture. We'll have holographic. We'll have the metallic coal foil. Just to make sure this looks like as premium as possible. Because as Johnny was saying, like when you open up a pack and you have one of these, you want to know that this is like creme de la creme.
Yeah,
exactly.
Special.
You hit the chase card pretty much.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. It's been really fun to see the community kind of start to piece together from the cards we've revealed where the rarities are and start to figure out what the treatments are and what's different about each frame. And you're only going to get more examples of that as we show off more cards.
Yeah, we got to see the Panam was revealed recently, right? And that was a bit of an element of some frame breaking, right?
Exactly.
And,
Panam's the best.
Yeah. we were doing the podcast and we were mentioning Panam, and Berza was losing it. Was like, finally, we get to see what she does, right?
True.
But yeah, coming back to the treatments and stuff, one of my favorite things I've seen from the alpha kit's been out there already, and we've seen some of the Nova rares, the Arasaka triptych.
Yep.
Is the line work that has been done on those cards. So I'd love to hear you speak about that a little bit, because to my knowledge, that's all hand done by you, Matthew, correct?
Yeah. It's for the triptychs, like the raised texture that we put on, they're all hand drawn, like bespoke, by myself and other members of the art team. So every line that's on there has been put there by thought. We haven't just kind of like just applied something over the top.
Yeah.
It's like we look at the artwork, especially those Ricardo pieces.
Yep.
There's so much line work, so much opportunity, so much scope, and that's what you love to see when we get these pieces coming in. We can look at them. John and I both look at them and think, this would look cool, like with like the lines here and the hollow here. Everything is put there by thought. We try and look at the artwork and apply what will make it look even better. So like obviously everything is 100% thought out, applied by hand. Every single line, every single pixel.
Absolutely incredible. Johnny, so I've got another question for you.
Please.
And I think this is a very interesting one. How does the creative team collaborate with the game design team when bringing a card to life?
It's crucial. It's the secret sauce that actually allows this game to be so special. I think we have a really close relationship with CD Projekt Red. We get to talk and meet with them every single week, multiple times a week. And I try not to bother them, but showing off and talking through the art has always been a pleasure. And not only are they obviously contributing original pieces of art that we've shown off, but they're making sure that the art that we're bringing to the table, the originals from Weird Co., are also authentically capturing the tone of Cyberpunk while also pushing the envelope in terms of what people are seeing. And so they are constantly leveling us up as a team, and we're trying to kind of share our thoughts about what we can have this game look like. And so it's been a really lovely relationship, and I couldn't ask for anything better.
For sure, yeah. And then when you work closely with the game design team on, there's often things that are referred to as like, top-down design, bottom-up design on the game design.
Oh, sure.
side.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, that was the question, but that was
Sorry.
still very insightful. answer.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, on the game design side, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Now that I understood it, it's been wonderful working with them as well. And so it's kind of, we go both ways. Ultimately, sometimes we have a character where we know we want to do something and we have an idea for what this art is going to look like. And we want to show off a character in a specific way. And game design is going to take a look at the art and say, okay, this card mechanically can do this. Other times, the opposite is going to happen. Game design is going to come to us with a mechanic, and we're going to say, what card can fit this? How can we make sure the art represents this mechanic perfectly? So it's really that marriage and back and forth, and I think you'll see that in the cards once we've shown off more of them, that yes, the art matches exactly what this card is going to do.
For sure.
Yeah, it's actually cool because you can tell instantly from the card design that it totally works. Like, like you see a card, it's like Gorilla Arms, for example, like works. Sandevistan, for example. Yeah, it also works. Like all the stuff that is kind of also towards the gear, it just works. With
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think the Atom Smasher piece just comes down and just blasts everything, right?
Yeah. So it needs to like fit the overall narrative.
100%. We're going to go back over and take a look at some more artworks. We talked about a lot of the CDPR stuff. Here are some of the artists that you've been working quite closely with, Johnny. So we have Moon Colony here.
Nice.
They've done the
Dexter
and the Royce. What has it been like working with the likes of Moon Colony? We also have Pandart, of course, which is a huge part of our game.
I love Pandart stuff.
Same. No, it's all of the artists that we get to work with, all of the teams that we work with, they're obviously very professional, very easy to work with, and most importantly, we love the quality that they bring to the table. And it's always very interesting because our job is to also make sure that as good of a job as CD Projekt Red does to educate us about the IP and level our understanding up about what works and what doesn't, we need to do the same thing with all of the artists that we work with, and that's such a pleasure. And then we get to ultimately see the end result, and you can see from the Dexter Deshawn piece, from the Royce piece, and the Pandart pieces, exactly the inspiration and art style that it lands in, right? With the Royce piece, it's comic book inspired. The Dexter's a little bit more rendered. Same thing with the Pandart pieces. They lean in different ways and different styles ultimately that are unique, but authentically cyberpunk at the end of the day.
Yeah, it totally works. Their art style is very like soft when it comes to like portraying the characters, but it fits so well into the overall cyberpunk genre that it just works.
For sure. So just seeing this piece here reminds me, we actually have some metal cards here.
Right.
From this plate that I would love for us to be able to show off, if possible. So I think we have the Hanako here, and I'm gonna let's see. There we go.
Show the guys, but instead of showing the guys, let's try to
see if we can get the focus in on this.
Focus on. We'll take a couple.
You can already see the foiling coming through.
Yeah.
We'll get a close up of it in a second, but these metal cards in particular is something that you've worked a lot on, Matthew, trying to get the right stuff. We'll get a shot of it in a second. But yeah, how has that been to be able to work with metal cards? I guess like for the printing stuff, how does that differ compared to kind of a normal card, right? Instead of kind of foiling, obviously we'd see foiling there, but you've got like, is there kind of raised sections of a card? I'd love to hear a bit of insight there.
Yeah, well, so these metal cards were really, really fun to work on, and the process of like putting the files together for these is quite similar to the ones that we do for like the regular cards. We still have the holographic layer. We still have like the raised texture, which you're kind of seeing here on the title of the card, the frame elements, and things like that. So they're actually quite similar. Probably the biggest thing is whenever we work with like a printer or especially display, it's kind of like we want to understand what their full capability is, and then design towards that rather than just handing over some files and just kind of like seeing what happens. Want to make sure that anytime we send a file off to any printer, display, anybody, it's like all the files are custom for them, so we get the best result possible. Which these cards, I mean, I set the files up, you can see renders, but it's completely something else to see it in person.
Yeah.
Like
we'll be sure to make sure we can get a good shot of it as we move to the next section.
Yeah, it's been wonderful working with Displate as well, and they are the experts in their manufacturing process, and so learning what they excel at and then advising us to kind of build off of each other has been critical.
Yeah, it's really cool. We've been working with them on a lot of like full displays that we're doing for both Witcher and Cyberpunk. So it's
full displays, you say?
Like the
full displays, you say?
Yeah, full displays. Yeah,
maybe,
full
maybe
art.
people will have to tune in tomorrow to see some full displays, maybe.
Spoiler.
We'll see. Just a few spoilers. So yeah,
I was just trying to
off.
Tease, and you're getting like everything out there.
I can't help myself. All right, we're just gonna go through some more of these awesome Pandart pieces. We've got like the Evelyn, we've got the Goro.
Al Cunningham.
The Royce, the alt that was
Totally.
just recently revealed has been absolutely amazing. So before we move into the very fun section, which
Sure.
is Johnny, you brought some exclusive stuff to show us.
Of course, I always do.
I do have one final question, and that is, it's a question I've actually seen asked amongst the community quite a bit, but it's an important one for accessibility. So, are colorblind or visually impaired users being considered in card design?
Oh, definitely. Accessibility is very important to us. Even when we started off early test prints, we were constantly figuring out, okay, what's the size of the font that we need? What's the contrast that we need? Are elements big enough so that they're legible? But specifically also for colorblind, I'm colorblind myself, actually. So we're making sure that the different colors, the cost gems, have a different silhouette. So you can reference the shape instead of just the color. Same thing with the RAM symbol. Obviously, that's a core deck building mechanic. And so there's notches that let you know, instead of just having to rely on the color, you can look at the actual notch cutout, and that will tell you what color this card is as well, or what color the RAM is.
100%. Yeah, we can see the example here. So for the alt card here is blue. The symbol for the cost is very distinguishable. We can see that the top right is colored in. For the Royce, red top left. So
Exactly.
yeah, small details like this mean a lot to
Yep.
to many members of the
I
community.
would. I actually say I am partially colorblind, so for me, like the cards are very readable. Like I have problems with shades of colors,
Sure.
but these are set in a way that they're easily visible.
Cool.
So,
Welcome
so
to
I
the
can-
team. Half
yeah.
colorblind counts.
Yes.
All right.
We could maybe get some questions in from chat.
Sure. Yeah, if you have some.
I have one from. I have a lot actually, but I'm trying to filter for because a lot of questions are centered around card rarity and also pool rates.
Sure.
But I think that's a question maybe for later.
Yep.
There was one question asking like what's the highest possible rarity of a card, and I think you already mentioned that, which is
Yeah, we can go. We can go back to
that
the,
one.
to the
There we
graphic,
go.
yeah.
So it's the Nova Rare, right? That's like the highest.
So iconic rares, the Nova rares are promo items, and so
Okay.
those are for a special event we can give them away. But from pulling up in the pack,
In
the
the pack.
iconic rare will be
Yeah.
the highest rarity.
Yep.
Yeah, and there is a question from Ryoshio Maneki. Will there be some cards that are only available in one rarity? For example, a card only ever being printed as a promo, or like let's say just the highest rarity, for example. So iconic rare in this case.
I don't think a decision has been made yet one way or the other. I know we are trying to make sure that all of the alt arts are also there's a base version that you'll be able to get, so you don't need to bank on getting the iconic rare version. You can pull the base rarity version as well for gameplay purposes.
Yeah, correct. I don't think we want to have mechanically unique, super giga
Correct.
rare card, because we want to make sure that the game is as accessible as possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we have some exclusive art to show off. So I believe you can correct me if I'm
so
wrong, Johnny. This
good.
is Synapse Burnout.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
from Michał Iwan.
Yeah, this is an awesome piece. Another piece done by CD Projekt Red. So big shout out. And it's really fun to get this really tight crop close up of the action. And it's obviously a quick hack from the game. And so to see it in this version, in this form, and so up close, so up personal, so visceral, is really fun and unique. And just big shout out once again to the team. And I love to be able to show off new stuff to the community.
Someone is getting fried.
Someone.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for sure. All right. The next piece. This is a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah.
These are we had shown the Arasaka triptych, and this is the counter. This is what you get from the mercs, from Jackie, from V, and from Victor. And this is one of my favorite. These were some of my favorite pieces to work with Ito on, because when you think of Cyberpunk, you don't necessarily think of a traditional medium like watercolor, but when you see it and you see the characters done in this way, and then you see our frames on top of these cards, even, which are very digital, core Cyberpunk inspired, it creates this really fun blend of mediums, and ultimately they just look incredible as card art.
This was actually a question from Chipped In Media. They were wondering if there's any connecting artwork. So this is one example, and the previous one is from those that haven't seen the Alpha Kit. In the Alpha Kit, you have the Arasaka team.
Correct.
Exactly. There's a lot of stuff we have planned to do fun things with the art and be able to tell micro stories with it, even if we're showing off the same character. And so just stay tuned.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I would love this on the playmat, just saying.
You heard it here
Okay.
first. Let's make it happen.
All right, let's take some notes.
All right. So this is the biggest reveal, I think, for the stream.
Okay.
I came
Let's
to you and I was
go.
like, Johnny, we need a really big piece.
Sure.
And you delivered, let me tell you. So we have this incredible Judy piece
Oh,
by
man.
Divebound. So
Yeah.
please talk us through this.
Yeah, this was so much fun very early on when I knew, hey, we need to create alt arts that are the iconic rare, the chase cards. And like I said in our core pillars is make things obvious. And so one of the ways we do that is through the card art like this. When you pull this card art along with the other rarest cards, you're going to know immediately. As soon as you get this kind of sparse background with this monochromatic look, you know you've gotten something really special. And just you wait until Matthew starts doing the print design portion of this and applies the foil treatments and the all the texturing.
Oh, man.
It's going to really sing this card art. And
There's a lot of line work here, so there's a lot of possibilities in terms of like
Tons.
foil treatment for it to look like really like pop.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And the smoke, it's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
seeing a piece like this is really exciting. So you can just look at it now, and I'm like thinking about all the possibilities,
Yeah.
you can do just to like, really make it pop on the card.
exactly.
Because, you can look at it now, and it already looks amazing, but it's like, you want to make it look like special.
It's also one of, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
Matthew.
it's
It's
okay,
one of
it's
those
good.
pieces also where it obviously looks different than the base cards that we're seeing, even some of the other iconics we're seeing, right? It's just a totally unique look, and we have a few more that we're gonna show off that are in this style eventually, and I just can't wait for the community to see all these and get their hands on them.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Cool. Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I
Yeah.
think that is the art
That's
section.
the art section for us, and I think we're gonna do a little transition
Yep, we'll
now,
do a
and we'll
transition.
do game design.
We will do game design.
Yeah.
Before you guys head off, is there anything you want to say to the community? It's been a long journey to get here, but as the community manager, every time I go on the Discord, every time I go on socials, like, I want to tell you guys as much as the community is telling me how awesome the art in our game is. So is there anything you guys want to say?
I mean, we're doing it for the community ultimately. I want to make sure that we're building a game that you guys can be just as proud of as we are, and we want to make sure that the art reflects the level of quality that you come to expect from this kind of IP. And it's been one of the joys of my career to be able to work on something like this. And so, big shout out to the entire team. Bigger shout out to the creative team, obviously. Just 'cause
They're
I get to
just
work with them.
outside, so it's really cool. 'Cause
Yeah,
they can
I get
actually
to
see us.
But yeah, big shout out to the entire creative team. We could not be here without you guys, and so massive kudos, massive props, and I can't wait to see how everyone reacts to the game.
One more thing before we transition to the
Yep.
the gameplay part. People are asking about the metal cards and how will they fit into boosters, because there might be like weight problems and
Sure.
stuff like that. So I think we should just clear the air and say
They're
where
not
the
gonna be
meta
in
cards,
boosters.
they're not going to be
They're
in
not going to
boosters.
be in
Yes,
boosters.
exactly.
Correct.
Let's clear the air
Yes,
on
these
that.
are
Yeah.
more towards the Kickstarter and the higher tiers in terms of
Correct.
pledges and stuff like
And
that. So-
maybe
and maybe later
we'll
on
find them in the future.
for different
Correct.
things.
Yeah.
But we would not put them in packs, because you would just go to a card store and start weighing packs.
Exactly.
because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it wouldn't
yeah.
make sense. So the metal cards are here, but they're just like special treatment cards for special events.
Yep.
Just so you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much again,
Thank you,
guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we'll be back
Shortly.
We might see you guys on stream tomorrow.
Yes.
as well
Okay.
For the celebration stream.
Alrighty.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Love you, Mom.
Appreciate it.
In the official Cyberpunk Trading Card Game, you and your rival are the leaders of legendary crews competing for control of Night City. Book your own gigs and steal your rival's gigs to up your street cred. The first crew to start their turn with 6 gig dice becomes legendary and wins the game. Here's how to get the job done. To start, move all your gig dice to the fixer area. Then randomize your 3 legends by shuffling them face down. Then shuffle the rest of your deck and draw 6 cards. Randomly pick who goes first. That player will start their first turn with 2 legends turned sideways to show they're already spent. And now, you're ready to play. Each turn starts with your ready phase. You'll draw a card, roll and gain a gig die. And ready your spent cards from previous turns by rotating them upright. Next up is your play phase. You might want to start by selling a card with the Eddy symbol, revealing it to your rival and then placing it face down in your Eddy's area. Now you can spend that and any other Eddies you have to pay the cost for other cards you want to play, like a program, which has a one-time effect, or this unit, which stays out on the field, or gear, which attaches to a unit or legend and gives them special bonuses. Whether face up or face down, your legends can also be spent to pay for a card, exactly the same as an eddy. But when you're ready to add them to your crew, you can spend 2 eddies to call a legend once each turn, flipping it face up. Legends are iconic characters from the Cyberpunk universe and powerful cards with game-changing abilities. They aren't units by default, but you can call them to add a critical ally to your crew. Once you're done playing cards, it's time to go on the offensive and claim some gigs. You've got 2 options. Attack an opposing spent unit or your rival directly. Spend 1 of your units to target either option. To go after an opposing spent unit, declare your attack and spend your own unit. At this point, you may have an attack trigger that takes effect. After that, your rival will react in defense, where their own defensive effects may trigger and change the outcome again. Keep a close eye on cards for their triggers. They can happen in combat, when they're first played or flipped, and more. After the triggers are completed, compare the final power of each unit. The unit with the lowest power is defeated and sent to its owner's trash pile, along with any gear attached to it. If both units have the same power, both are defeated. To claim gigs and get closer to victory, declare an attack against your rival directly. Players will still activate offensive and defensive triggers on both sides as required. If your unit is still in play after, the attack on your rival is a success, and you'll steal at least 1 gig, and another for every 10 power your unit has. The total value of all your gig dice is your street cred, which can unlock bonuses on other cards. You need gig dice to win, but you also want street cred to unlock your most powerful abilities. Once you're done attacking, you end your turn and pass to your rival. The back and forth battle continues as you both play cards, attack, call legends, claim and reclaim gigs, all the way until you roll in your 6th gig from the fixer area. After you and your rival do that, you each get 1 additional turn to make your last move and try to steal gigs. If someone doesn't win by starting their turn with 6 gigs, then the team with the most gigs claims victory. A good strategy makes all the difference. Build around the legends that best suit your playstyle, constructing your deck based on factors like card color type and total RAM limit. Will you stealth and quick hack to avoid direct confrontation, or going guns blazing with all the hustle and chrome you've got? The choice is up to you. How will you run your crew? Who will you be in Night City? And do you have what it takes to become a Cyberpunk legend?
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, now we have the second segment for today's stream, which is going to focus on game design and gameplay philosophy. We have Richard joining us for the first time today.
Greetings all, Richard Zapp. I lead the game design department here at WeirdCo. Super excited to bring you the fruits of a very long time of labor.
Yeah, and Lohan is back in the hot seat.
Hello.
So we're going to have some questions from the community. But let's start super general when it comes to game design before we jump into the cards themselves. So what is Cyberpunk Trading Card Game at its core, if you could just like sum it up?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously that 5-minute video that we just watched tries to, serve as the high level of that. Ultimately, it's a love letter to CD Projekt Red's work, especially Cyberpunk 2077, especially Edgerunners. We know that those things have huge resonance among the gaming community at large. And when we received the opportunity to make this product, we spent months and years asking, how do we offer the most genuine, approachable Cyberpunk experience? Cyberpunk as a genre has been around for a very, very long time. We wanted to pay homage to the tabletop experience. We did that through a really exciting card game. We do a few very innovative things. It's consolidated into a 7-turn game, which really helps play lots of games. And whenever you have all your friends around, you're playing a quick game, you can get a lot of games in, which is not something that every TCG can offer. But you're seeing your favorite characters from your video game, your favorite characters from your various runs, equipping gear, completing gigs, and ultimately becoming legends of Night City.
I just want to shout out the video that we just watched with the how to play. You know, you guys want to say, Richard, you want to say a few words about how it all came together, and maybe the voice actor also behind
Voice
it.
actress,
we can talk
we
about it
know,
for-
we
we
know,
can
we
talk
know
about
the
it for a
voice
while.
actress. Come on,
Yeah,
we
So
know.
the voice actor I'll mention is Tia Beastie, which Powell, you had the pleasure of working very closely alongside back in the Gwent days, right?
Yeah, she was one of our content creators, also one of the best Gwen casters. I hope the other casters don't get mad, but she was one of the best casters, I would say. And she's been a wonderful friend and a member of the community. So it's actually super awesome. And what I saw with the Cyberpunk TCG is a lot of our Gwent community has been kind of flooding over and coming in. So we're all card gamers. We all love cards. So, I mean, it makes total sense. So it's awesome to have Thea with us and actually doing the voiceover for the
She crushed
for the How to
it.
Play.
She absolutely crushed it.
Come on.
Yeah,
She's a pro.
yeah. Myself and Richard, you know, talked to her about the game. She was super excited, and as soon as she heard you guys were like on board and a very close partner with us, she was very, very excited.
Yeah, I watched one video of her and Mr. Beast playing Gwent, and I was like, oh, ship it. Yeah, we made it happen.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right, so we're gonna move and look a little bit into kind of some card anatomy and some deck building. So if you could kind of talk through these graphics for us, Richard, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 4 main cards in the Cyberpunk Trading Card Game: legends, units, gears, and programs. What we see there is a legend. Legends are your mascots. They are your chief members of your crew trying to work with you to become that legendary Night City gang of all gangs. You see costs in the top left corner. You see some tags like Merc and Corpo that show off what kind of affiliations they have. Text box and abilities like Go Solo. Go Solo is an ability that lets your legends enter the fray of battle and cause some havoc in an instant. You see a power stat that allows your units to battle with others and exchange stats. You see that RAM value in the top right corner, and I think that's one of the more innovative corners of the Cyberpunk Trading Card Game. So these 3 mascots make up your deck. We have 4 colors in our game: yellow, red, green, blue. They take a lot of inspiration from color psychology. Then they take some inspiration from the various skill trees that you'll see in the Cyberpunk 2077 video game.
Love that.
And ultimately, it gives you this spread where each of your legends right now have 2 RAM. So when you look at your 3 legends in your deck, they have a total of 6. Now, if you play 3 blue legends, you have 6 RAM total, meaning you can play any blue card in your deck with a RAM value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have full access to that color, but you can't play any red cards or any green cards. Inversely, if you played something like the Arasaka deck we see there in the corner, where you have 2 greens and 1 red, you can play any green card in your deck with 1, 2, 3, or 4 RAM. You can also play any red card with 1 or 2. So it gives you this dichotomy where it's I play the strongest cards in one color, or I can have access to a wide variety of abilities, but I can't play the strongest one in any of them. And a lot of the deck building strategy is figuring out that cost benefit to work well with your strategy.
And when it comes to balancing the game as well, that's like another lever for you guys to pull, right? So like maybe we'll make something a 4 yellow RAM card versus a 2 yellow RAM card because it requires, maybe this card is actually really, really strong with this blue legend, so we want to kind of restrict it. So it's one of the things I've really enjoyed about playing the game so far myself, and I'm excited to see how it's going to expand, right? What a 3-color deck may look like, what a deck looks like with just all, 2 of blue, 2 of yellow, 2 of green, etc. So, talking about some of these cards, let's move on. And, we've been in preview season.
Yeah.
So we had the pleasure of recently revealing the Panam
I love
on the
that
Cyberdeck
card.
podcast.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
You should be. It's about as strong as it gets.
It's really good. It's really good. Yeah.
So this Panam, it has something really interesting on it, which is basically showcases that not only can you attach, equip gear to your units, you can also equip gear to your legends, and this Panam showcases why that can be extremely important. There'll be multiple reasons, right? If you equip to a legend, maybe you can protect your gear a little bit better. There's a lot of different things that could be coming down the line, but I'd love to hear your philosophy on equipping to a legend versus equipping to a unit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a ton here. When a couple of my game designers, David McDarby, Chris Solis, they're working on this card, and they're thinking about the scene where Pan Am hands off their weapon. It's it's a brilliant correlation to that.
Yeah.
So you see that text call, which call is a game action that you do in our game. You can pay 2 resources, or what we call eddy, to be able to flip one of your legends face up. So once you do that, it goes upright, and you have the ability to use the effect right away. Now with these legends, whenever you can pay the cost, which is spending the legend, turning it sideways, in order to take a gear, equip it to another unit, instantly changing its stats, instantly gaining it new abilities, and then you ready it, which means that it can actually attack a second time. It's incredibly powerful in specific situations.
Yeah. Or you can just keep it safe, right? Like maybe you can hit with it, and then it's like, okay, I really value this unit now, and it's not spent, so your rival can't hit back into it.
Yeah. Or that Go Solo legend that we saw on the previous slide. You can put it onto Pan Am, later flip your V Go Solo, come out into the field, attack right away,
and you hit it for
equip
loads.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very exciting gameplay.
Yeah, I think it's also one of the things that players wanted to know more about, is kind of having the ability to do things kind of which your opponent might not suspect, or they might not know it's going to happen. So the game doesn't play like it's very, like, let's say, like a match of chess. So there's actually intricacies in between a lot of things. So, and there were a lot of questions where people were like, why would I equip to a legend? It's not attacking.
Yeah, in the alpha experience, right, it was probably something that was less showcased, but it is, I would say, integral to the game moving forward for set 1.
I want to talk about that a little bit because we've gotten a lot of comments, on our Discord, on people commenting on the alpha kits. Obviously, the alpha kit is meant as a demo experience, right, to get new players, especially people who have never tried a TCG before, who might be a Cyberpunk fan. That's the experience with the alpha kit, which we want to showcase. Now, as we're getting into the Pan Ams and all these other cards, there's going to be a lot more intricacies. Obviously, I've tried the game with the more constructed version of the decks, and there's a lot of cool things that we can do on the back end here. And so, maybe Richard, you want to talk about that interactivity a little bit? Obviously,
yeah. There's actually some other cards that we'll be showing off more so that highlight that. Gorilla Arms here, on the other hand. One of the sickest arts that we've shown yet.
100%.
Yeah, an example of the type of gear that you'd want to play with Pan Am. And the way this works is you equip it to your unit or to your legend in the field area. It attacks, it'll steal a gig, and then it can steal another gig of the same number of sides. Gigs, which are represented by the dice in our game. So basically, your opponent attacks you and they take your 6-sided dice, or your 6. Now, when you attack with Gorilla Arms and you take one of the D6, you can take a second. But it gets stronger still. Imagine if your opponent has 2 different pairs and you attack with a large unit that has 10 or more. Now you steal all 4. Yeah.
That's big. That's a big swing.
Yeah. And at +4 on the gear attachment, there's a lot of 3-cost and 4-cost units that'll be able to hit that 10 power threshold.
And it's actually very important. We just spoke about RAM. It's a clear indicator that this is a very powerful card. Therefore, it has to be at 4 RAM rather than 2, right?
But it's Gorilla Arms. I mean,
it needs to be
I've seen
impressive,
the
right? Yeah, it needs to and it actually shows in the art. There's actually a question, if we could go back to our card, by Tsukigami99. What is the difference between the call and the flip keywords?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the early pieces of feedback that we received was the game action of turning face down legend face up, that I kind of needed a name to go with it. The action of flip a legend was a bit confusing. So call is the game action that we've given to that. Functionally, it's very, very similar. There may or may not be a very small nuance on if a different card flipped up your legend. Calling and flipping might mechanically be very subtly different, where call is the game action and flip is for any reason. But for all intents and purposes, call is that game action of spending 2 resources in order to legend.
Awesome.
That's
cool. All right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
let's move on to the next one.
We had 2 other cards we're going to show off, a blue and a red card. So this Alt Cunningham was just recently showed off about 3 days ago on our socials.
Yeah.
And, of course, besides just having an absolute killer art, this is a very unique card effect in the game. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on maybe how this card came to be.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we know who Alt is. She has to be able to be the creme de la creme in the net running space. We often represent that in programs. Welcome to Night City doesn't overly talk about the net running experience. It leans a little more into the brain dance experience, which we've seen through some other previews that we've had. Excited to dive into that. But Alt was one of our first forays into that. What Alt does is, as a Go Solo legend, you can pay 6 to bring it from the field once it's face up. It can attack, still a gig. It's a little on the small size for its cost. So there's lots of effects that can kind of punch you. But if you manage to get through and take that, you can play any program that you've played earlier in the game, which we have pretty high cost programs coming out in the full release. I mean, that's going to be one of the most value attacks that you can generate in the game. Huge swings, huge damage potential, but there's a real cost. When you use Go Solo, that legend can no longer go on jobs and produce eddies. Not only that, but after that one attack, it's getting removed from the game. So you're not only losing field presence, but you're also losing resources in exchange for that powerful program. So
For sure.
players really need to find the sweet spot in timing that to get the maximum value out.
Yeah, one more question I have from chat. If you have a gear attached to a legend that is in the legend zone and then is going solo, does the gear stay attached?
Sure does.
Yeah.
Gears follow along. If I have Mad Sand Devastan on my legend, I'm not accidentally dropping my spine that I installed. Likewise, anytime a character goes anywhere, that gear follows it, rather be to the hand or the deck or the trash.
Same like, for example, with Florid. Like if Florid is played, the gear goes back because it would be weird if you had Mantis Blades and you're kind
They
of...
just fell off.
Yeah, they're
Correct.
just jumping off of you. It's like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah, one thing I want to note about the alt, it's something we discussed during the podcast, which is, to kind of get the maximum value out of a card like alt. Some players may think, okay, maybe if I play like a 5-cost program and then I bring alt out, I can do something. If there are very, very, very high cost programs in our game, we saw an example of the Yorinobu from the alpha kit. So having abilities where you're able to draw and then discard, send to the trash, that is maybe some way that you could guarantee you have some high costed programs in there before you even had to play them. So you can see this legend, maybe you can do some build arounds. I actually don't know.
If we weren't on stream, I'd pull something out of my bag. But
I'll talk to you about it
catch up
later. I'll talk to you about it later.
It's actually funny because when we came in, the game designers instantly started playing, and I was just like hovering over them, seeing what they're playing.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
like, there's so many
So
cool
many new
things. There's so many cool
cards.
things
Yeah.
happening on the board. It's crazy. Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And then the final card that we have before we get into some sneak peeks and exclusive previews is Kerry Eurodyne. And this is an
Yes.
example of a card that has the spend ability on it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
yeah. So what Carry does is you're able to, instead of attacking, you're able to turn it sideways. And then if you have a gig at max value, you can draw 2 cards. I think if you've played a lot of trading card games and haven't played the Cyberpunk trading card game, you look at that and you get a little bit concerned. Like, oh, I have to roll an 8 on my D8 for it to get value. Honestly, this card is super reasonably statted. It plays rather well. And the reason why is because the dynamic gig system means that if your opponent rolls that max-sided gig, all you need to do is attack, steal it, defend yourself for a turn, and now that's online. And a lot of the strategy of our game is deciding what gig to work on first. Much like the Cyberpunk 2077 video game, you have all of these side quests that you can choose the order that you want to do it. That was a really important part of expressing the IP for us.
Yeah.
And then that big final mission, that D20 at the end, is the story ends close to the same for most people. Maybe you don't know the exact outcome, but it all starts with the final mission.
Yeah, I think it's also cool that because people have been asking like how big of an importance do the dice play when it comes to gameplay, and here you can see that there are cards that are utilizing this. So whatever we're kind of adjusting the gigs, changing things, it actually gives you benefits, but you also can be staggering your opponent and kind of messing up their game plan, which is totally cool.
Exactly. Yeah. The heart and soul of the game is because trading card games have randomness in the deck, we don't love adding too much excessive randomness. We want people's decisions to be the primary motivator in who wins and who loses. But what the dice do is they introduce randomness outside of your deck and my deck. It's not randomness that's heavily impacting does a card work or not, but it's how are we changing our strategies? How are we pivoting our strategies? You have this information at the beginning of the turn, and you can structure your turn around mitigating or taking advantage of what Night City has presented itself in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, to add maybe one thing to discuss on the dice is, when we first started, and we designed the game with the dice, we went through a lot of iteration, right, to kind of figure out exactly how the dice would be played in the game.
Yeah.
And even when we showed it to the public for the first time with the alpha kit, I think our biggest concern internally was like, okay, we know dice is a more controversial, feature to add to a TCG, but honestly, I think the feedback we've gotten so far has been just incredible.
It's been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did play tests where we had dozens of people in a room, and we asked first impressions. They're like, these dice are a little hairy, and then we asked 3 minutes later, and they're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm super interested to find out more, and we're super excited to show off what that more looks like with Welcome to Night City.
And I also feel like it makes the game feel totally different than anything else that is out there in the TCG space, because you're not going face. You're actually thinking about going and capturing the gigs. It also puts a timer on the game, which I also appreciate. So the games don't last out for as long amount of time, or people sometimes, in different card games, there's these strategies where you accumulate a lot of life and then you're pretty much sitting there and your opponent can't do anything. Here it can be dynamic, and it feels like a tug of war, and it actually plays into what Cyberpunk is. So actually trying to become the legend in Night City. So trying to get as many gigs going for you. And yeah, it just works. And it was one of the things that in the beginning I was also like, dice, TCG, I don't know if this will fit. First gameplay session we did before we did the red stream, I was like, sign me up. Got it. Now, to be honest, I have one alpha kit and we just play it almost every day after work when we're in the office.
Awesome.
So, it's
Amazing.
fun. It's still fun. Yeah, love it.
I'll just add one final point on the dice, which is the tactile feeling when you're playing in person, when you're moving the dice around, just seeing, at a glance who's leading, who's kind of coming back, that kind of tug of war. It's it just adds a depth of feeling to playing the TCG that's just really unique, I think, to our game.
Yeah. I have a question from chat. So this is an important one. Forgotten Snecko 4631. I love these names. I always probably mix them up. Here's a question me and my friend argued about extensively. If you have a gear attached and it goes back to your hand, do you now have to pay the cost of the gear again when playing it on a unit?
You do. It is, once it goes back to a private area like your hand, it's no longer attached to it.
So you need to replay it in this case. Perfect.
Makes
I think you
sense.
just solved an argument between two people.
Yeah.
Which is always good.
Hopefully I
right.
answered it for the one that asked.
Yeah. One more thing. People really want to get their hands on the game. Maybe not in a sense that we know that Kickstarter is starting tomorrow, so you'll be able to pledge and then you need to wait for the pledge to fulfill. We'll talk more about that probably towards the end of the stream.
Sure.
But before that, people are actually thinking, are you guys going to be coming to events and actually having the possibility of people get their hands on the game physically? Not even own it, but in the sense of just playing it with someone and someone explain the rules to them so they can kind of get a feel of how the gameplay loop works.
So today, if somebody wants to experience the Cyberpunk Trading Card Game, the best thing they can do, follow the Kickstarter. Then we have a thread for our print and play.
Yes.
So players can print out, they can cut cards, and they can play decks. In terms of events, I'll hand off to you to speak a little bit to our future.
We will be announcing a few events
A little
bit later in
on.
the stream.
Yep.
But I will add that if folks want to get their hands, for a alpha kit in terms of with their retailer, we are offering alpha kits to retailers at this moment. Meaning, we actually just gave away, a few hundred alpha kits to folks at Gamma, for the kind of American retailers that were there. But that's something that's actually available for all retailers that are putting in a order of the product to the distributor. We're going to be sending them an alpha kit so that they can start demoing it with their community in person. And so that's just an additional way. So we actually have many ways of getting the game, the print and play, the alpha kits going to retail, the giveaways that we're doing, and obviously the Kickstarter is coming up.
For sure.
Yeah. One more question, Cree. If you could, there's a question if there's going to be edgerunners characters and the TCG. Can you just show this? Yeah, let's move this. Without saying, we'll just show something and then we can move on.
I think there's going to be some edgerunners. Yeah, we've got some very, very, very cool things to show off. This is a bit of a tease, I would say, to some of our accessories that are going to be shown off when the Kickstarter goes live.
Yeah, there was also
tomorrow.
a question about the format of the cards. Like, are they going to be standard format, or if it's like a special format? Will they fit like normal sleeves and stuff like that and deck boxes?
They will.
They will.
It will be standard. It will be standard format indeed. Cool. All right. Now it's time for the very exciting part. The part I've honestly been itching to discuss.
Show
with
us
you.
the new stuff.
Okay. Here we go. So we have some exclusive cards that Richard and the game design team have
Drum roll.
brought with us. Here we have
There we go.
Placid,
Placide the man.
Voodoo Sentinel. So yeah, talk to us about this, Richard, and tell us why you wanted to show this off on stream.
Yeah, absolutely. We have showed a lot of our smaller cast of characters, and we wanted to show off something a little bit spicy.
Yeah.
Also, Blue hasn't got as much love. You know, I'm Blue. I love Blue. And Plead is just an awesome way to show that off.
Cool.
So Plead is the first card that we showed off that has 2 different timing triggers. So you get the effect once when you play it, and then every time that you attack after that, you also get the effect, which the effect is discard a program from your hand, any program. It could even be the card that we're showing off next. And whenever you do, you choose a rival unit and you bottom deck it. What bottom deck means is that you take the card and you put it on the bottom of the card owner's deck. It's part of a rule that we have that if you have multiple cards that you're putting to the bottom of the deck at the same time, you actually shuffle it up and do it randomly. We have a couple rules like that just in the efforts of keeping text short and concise on cards. You'll notice that we don't have a ton of keywords that we're utilizing for set 1. We really want this game to be approachable and understandable, and that if you see the cards and the deck and you watch a 5-minute how to play video, that you can play through the game relatively well. You also see that it is a low RAM card. Being a costly card has its pros and cons, and we wanted to make sure that it had a lot of breadth and a lot of room to play. I believe that'll do it. And so far, it's been one of the best closers that we've been able to play in our game.
Yeah, I really love the art here also, like we mentioned it before, but it plays into the beginning where you actually meet Placide, when you're actually interacting with the Voodoo Boys for the first time, and you can actually see in the background the church where the it's actually the beginning. It's also one of the things that we did in the early demo. So yeah,
And it's also 10 power. So when this
Yeah,
swings, it
it's a
swings
big-
and
big-
it grabs
yeah.
2 things.
It's big. Yeah, if they're relying on blockers, they're not
Yeah.
going to do too much.
Yeah.
and bottom decking rival units, I feel like is good because it's messing up your
Oh, yeah.
opponent's game plan.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll see some cards have defeated effects, which means whenever it's defeated and sent to the trash. This gets around that.
Bypasses it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very strong.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, so
Beautiful.
before we move on to the next card,
Yeah.
I want to just quickly talk about, Birza mentioned and Lohan mentioned, the alpha kit and people wanting to see a little bit more, interactivity. Maybe how am I able to interact with my opponent? And this is feedback that I know you guys in the game design team were seeing, and this next card kind of showcases a bit of the direction of where we may be going
Yeah.
with that. So let's take a look at Cyber Psychosis.
First of all, let's take a second to appreciate that. You're not seeing that in every.
Michał Iwan,
yeah.
yeah.
Awesome experience. So, Cyber Psychosis is the first quick hack that we're showing off. Quick hacks are a super important part of the Cyberpunk Trading Card Game. And in our game, there are some of the faster ways that you interact with the opponent.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to do that in a variety of ways, but the way it works in our base set is that when a unit attacks, you can pay the cost and spend a unit or a face-up legend in order to play it. Now, there's a couple things to unpack there. One, it's when any legend or anything attacks. So it can be me
Yours
or your
or your
opponent.
rivals. Yeah. Yep.
Secondly, something has to be performing the quick hack, right? So that can be a face-up unit that you have. It can be a face-up legend that you have. So let's say the opponent attacks you and you want to play a quick hack from your hand. You can do so. You would just pay the to Eddie, and then you would spend a ready unit that you have. You would spend a face-up legend. And then what this does is it gives an equipped unit +2 power this turn for each of its equipped gears. If you're a decked out Atom Smasher, you're getting +8, +10, +12, right? And that could be the difference between doing 1 damage or 2 damage. And then at the end of the turn, Cyber Psychosis does what it does best. And
Defeats the unit. It actually plays, once again, this is the question we got in the art segment. How does the gameplay influence the art, and the art influence the gameplay? We have a great example here, Cyber Psychosis. You're going crazy, and there is a moment where you're either being flatlined by max stack, or you're just pretty much defeating yourself because you're overloaded by the amount of gear that you have attached to yourself. So yeah, this was also a question that came up today in the chat, asking about kind of, is there ability to play programs kind of once things are happening, so kind of in between turn cycles,
right.
let's say.
And the answer is sometimes.
Yeah.
And you'll see other decks. We saw the River Ward and the Goro Legend that we previewed earlier this month. Both of those have abilities to change the tide of battle in a surprise way, at least somewhat of a surprise because it's face up. With River, you don't know what gear is going to end up on the unit, but this is giving another axis for that.
Yeah.
Again, we wanted that alpha experience to be palatable, but at the end of the day, mechanics like these were things that we were super duper excited by. The original plan was to have more of it in set 2 than in set 1. We heard the feedback from the community, and we accelerated that all to make sure that our enthusiastic TCG players have a lot of meat on the bone to thoroughly enjoy.
For sure. I love the flavor and then also the flexibility of this card. The flavor, because as we talked about, it very much encapsulates what Cyberpsychosis is. But the versatility, because I remember when you told me about this card at first, it's actually very important that, it's when one of your units attacks or when one of your opponent's units attacks. And it's also, it just says give an equipped unit. So it's not saying you're one. You can target your opponent's unit, let them be buffed up, swing for a lot, and then at the end of the turn, it gets defeated. So it's that flexibility that I could buff my own unit up, I could get some extra gigs, or my opponent has a pesky threat, let me give them a little buff this turn, and then it goes away.
Right. And that buff could have a real cost to it, right? Imagine if I'm giving this to a unit and it takes it from 8 power to 10 power. Now I'm taking 2 damage in exchange for that defeat.
Yeah.
It has a real cost to it. On the flip side, you can also give it to yours and deck it up. It's important to note here that says give it to an equipped unit. So it has to be a unit that already has gear on.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you don't have any cyberware installed, you're relatively safe from cyberpsychosis. But
Makes sense.
once you do, watch out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Question for this one from Draga Rock. If you play this on your attacker and destroy a blocker that was declared, do you still steal dice or destroy the attacked unit?
Yeah. So you would whenever an effect like blocker redirects the attack is no longer trying to steal gigs. So now it is a fight between two. We use the word fight to describe the actual stat exchange between characters. And if there's a stat exchange between characters, you're generally not having die being exchanged, gigs being exchanged as a result.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Perfect. Got it.
Any more questions from the chat?
I think we can move on. There was a question that actually I was super interested in, which is from Ventus Looks Day. Are we gonna eventually be given dual colored legends? I think that's a very like in the future question, but I'll let you tackle that one with a yes or a no.
It sure is interesting that that most legends have 2 RAM.
It is, isn't it?
Wow, what a beautiful answer.
It's very interesting.
I
Interesting.
think that sums it up.
That sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
That sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that's basically
That's it.
for the game design section.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to both of you for joining us. We're gonna take a quick break,
And we'll be back.
We're gonna be jumping into organized play.
Yeah. Guys, any final
words to the
you wanna-
community? You know,
The camera's yours.
Yeah, look, game design, you'll meet a lot of the game design team. If you check out the stream tomorrow, we've been working tirelessly to truly make a game that TCG players can be excited about, that tries to break the mold. We've been working really hard to make a game for Cyberpunk fans. It doesn't matter if you've played one video game your entire life or if you've played 18 card games. This is a game that you can play, that you can enjoy, that you can use your favorite characters, and that you can have the genuine Cyberpunk experience that you want. The number of meetings that I have been in the last year, that conversations were around what is the most flavorful thing that we can do to write a love letter to the Cyberpunk community, and that being the North Star that we drove almost every single card that we talked to by is just clearly we hope really demonstrates how much we're trying to reach out to the whole community to expand the TCG audience and to expand the Cyberpunk audience, TCG players.
Yeah, I'll just underline similar sentiment that the accessibility, is a huge topic for us, that we really want to make sure that if you're a Cyberpunk fan and this is your first TCG, don't be afraid. Even if you didn't understand what we talked about during the last 10, 15 minutes, if you sit down and play the game, it's very accessible. It's one of the easiest new TCGs to learn, in fact, I think, on the market currently. And it's a testament to just the way we've designed the alpha experience, the demo experience, the way the system works. And then on the flip side, for the crunchy players, for the players who really, really want to get their hands in deep, who may have not gotten as much of it just from the alpha experience itself. You guys have seen some of the cards today. Don't worry, guys. As you're going to see more and more and more cards, there's a lot of TCG DNA on the team, obviously. And so we're making a game that's going to be hella fun to play.
Yeah. As someone that has played nationals and games for decades, a lot of our team has been head judges and done deep work. We're also very much here for the TCG community, and as we talked about during organized play, we have some cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
We definitely do.
Yeah, I can for sure also second what was said here. Like we can really like it really shows the passion and the knowledge of the TCG community and the TCG space in the Weirdco team.
People we have on this team
yeah,
are
just incredible. And they're from
incredible.
different card games. Like, name a card game, you finally will hit
Someone
a
on the
person.
team
That's
touched
someone
it.
on the team
someone's
worked on
on the
it.
team.
Someone
Yeah,
on the team worked
for
on it.
sure,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
for sure.
Awesome. So we'll be back with organized play and a competitive vision. We'll have Lohan back with us, and we'll also have Nick joining us. And we'll do a short break, and I think we'll transition with.
Hype trailer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get it.
Good morning, Night City!
Johnny Silverhand sends his cards.
Oh, there
Check
we
out
go.
some of these metal cards, please.
Yes.
Yes, a little bit closer would be awesome. And bring it down
Yeah.
slightly.
Yeah, there we go.
There
now
we
it's
go.
fully in the frame. If you could tilt it a little bit to one side, this is a Lohan doing the God's
Showing
work
off
for
the
you
metal
right
cards,
right
yeah.
here.
Moving
Beautiful.
it around.
Yeah. So that's the Smasher. We also have there we go.
Hanako, yes. This is
Hanako.
the one that I think a lot of people. Oh, this looks great. There,
Yeah.
it's finally in focus. I know
Yeah.
chat was probably laughing
yeah,
at us.
Yeah.
Sure.
Some say Hanako is still waiting for everybody on
At Embers?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was my
So
favorite
it's-
reveal that we
so
did on
it's
socials.
It's ongoing memes.
But yeah.
There we go. All right.
right.
Out of the sleeve. I don't
Oh
know,
my
man.
word.
I don't know. I don't know if this should be out of the sleeve though. But it's metal. It's metal. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So yeah, this is the Hanako that we
Oh, man.
showcase some of our pledge tiers already, and
Yeah.
this is going to be the one that is included. You can see the texturing, the foiling. I'm very glad.
Yeah,
it's in,
the 3D elements of
Yeah.
the card is just incredible. So yeah, and Panda art. I mean, come on.
awesome,
Yeah.
incredible. Thank you so much, Lohan.
Kickstarter starts tomorrow, so if you want
Kickstarter
some
does
cool metal cards,
Start tomorrow.
better do it. All right. Welcome. Once we get Lohan set it up, there might be some mic stuff, but we're good.
Cool.
So yeah, organized play and the competitive vision. So it's a number one question that TCG players that want to be competitive or are competitive amongst other card games. It's the first question. All right, you guys are coming out with a card game. It's physical. We saw the gameplay. What about organized play? So what's kind of like the division for it? And we have Lohan back on the scene. We also, have Nick.
Nick.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nick Frazier. I am the organized play and events manager here at Weirdco, and I am very excited to be sharing with you all every single detail that we are ready to reveal about our organized play structure, both at the LGS level and the competition level. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
What an incredible introduction.
Yeah.
Smooth
You're a
as
natural. Nick.
butter.
You're a natural.
Yeah.
I try my best. Thank you.
Yeah, we should have the man here more and more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about organized play overall. So what was the vision when thinking about Cyberpunk TCG and organized play?
Absolutely. So the goal when it comes to organized play is to get people around the table to play a card game. That's one of the core visions and ideals of Weirdco in general. With our OP strategy, our intention is to get people into a structure that is familiar to them while still presenting them with new experiences that both casual and competitive players can enjoy. That's why we're investing really heavily in the LGS. That's why we're investing really heavily in running these big competition level events. The whole MO of our entire company is to get people playing the Cyberpunk TCG and enjoying the company of real people, real TCG players in the presence of their home, the game store, at big conventions, and every single decision that we've made has been making sure that they are being rewarded for enjoying this game. We invest in them so they continue to invest in us.
Awesome.
Well said. Oh man, that's
Incredible
so well
answer.
said. Man, it's like he's so well prepared.
He is.
Yeah.
Thank
He
you.
is
I
indeed.
appreciate it.
Killed it.
All right. So
I'm just gonna say LGS. If you're tuning in and you're a
unfamiliar.
video game player and you're
Yes.
unfamiliar with the term local game store. So
Yes.
yeah, so your local game store that you would go in and buy your cards, for example, or you would pop in, for example, to let's say play some games of your favorite card
Play
game.
locals.
Being
Yeah.
Cyberpunk TCG, of course.
100%. All right. So this is going to be a very, very big reveal for us because, we've talked about organized play a little bit on the Discord, on socials. We've mentioned that this is, very important to us as a company, but now we finally get to reveal what our OP structure looks like. I know, Nick, this is something that you've been really looking forward to chatting
I'm
about.
very
So
excited.
let's move into it. Let's break down the organized play structure for Cyberpunk TCG.
All right, so here we are. As you all can see, we've prepared a graphic for you so that it's easier to digest the information, but we have a lot to share with you here about our event structure. As you can see, we have two different ways that we're looking at our organized play. We're looking at it from the perspective of the local game store and what they're going to be hosting, as well as the competition level. Our local game stores will be able to partner with us to run what we like to call the Night City Gauntlet. In the Gauntlet, we're going to be introducing players to our game with pre-release events for our set 1 and then all of our other sets after that, where you'll be able to sit down and play the game for the first time, open some packs, build a deck, and enjoy this new game, this new experience that we're offering. And our goal is to make it to where this event is open to anybody from any background, any level of TCG experience. We want players who are coming over from the TTRPG and the video game to be able to sit down and have this be accessible to them, as it will be for competitive TCG players as well, who bring a lot of experience to the table. The beginning of the Gauntlet starts at the pre-release, but we want to make sure that you're coming back to your local game store and engaging with the game more. So then you'll have to participate in the Night City Brawl, which is our weekly play events. The Night City Brawl, for those who have played TCGs before, it's very similar to your weekly play that you'll find in a variety of other games. You'll be getting promos for coming and hanging out. The better you do, the more you get from the store, and your game store will have a lot of control over how much they're presenting to you. We want to help them in a lot of different ways to get exclusive promos for the Night City Brawls. We want to make sure that every time you come out to the game store, you're getting something that you feel is being invested into you. We want you to get a good experience, a unique experience every single time you play our game. All of this has to lead to something, though. So we're going to be, as kind of our big event capper event, right? Like the last thing that you're doing before you think about the next set, that's going to be the Night City Showdown. And I think I can say, we're going to be offering some exclusive things to the Night City Showdown, some exclusive arts, some promos you can't get anywhere else. This is the thing that we're going to have our weekly players, both competitive and casual, trying to build to over the course of the set, fine-tuning your decks, learning what strategies you want to bring to this event. This is the ultimate final, it's the finale, if you will, of the set at the LGS. So that is going to be the Gauntlet, the idea of this stair step from the pre-release to weekly play to the Night City Showdown. And then for the folks who love to travel for TCGs, this section's going to be for you. We're going to go ahead and move to talk about our competition level events. Our competition level events are very exciting, gentlemen. I've been waiting to tell the world about this. We get so many questions about it. I get pinged about it so often. And today is the day that we're finally going to reveal everything. It's really great. We'll start from the bottom and we'll work our way up. I know everybody wants to talk about the World Championship, but we got to earn that first. So when it comes to how we're going to be offering these are your big competitive level events, starting with our continued investment into the LGS, we have the Night City District Open. The Night City District Open is going to be your store qualifier event. Only certain stores will get this. This is not something that everybody will be running, but we're more than happy to talk to any store who's interested in running this. We're very, very much so looking forward to finding LGS partners who have the capacity and the ability to run a Night City District Open. But this is going to be your first opportunity to get an invite to, if you look a few steps above there, the Black Sapphire Invitational Championship. So Night City District Open. This is your equivalent to any event that you've ever played in at an LGS that fills the room. Everybody's playing because a couple players, they're going to, not only are they going to play in this event and do well and win a bunch of exclusive prizes at the Night City District Open, they're also going to win that invite. They're going to be able to go on from the District Open in order to continue to play, continue to hone their skills, and make it to the very top in this game. Sorry about that, guys. From there, the District Open is one way that you can qualify, but there's also, very interestingly, we have to, we're planning on running big convention level events where the Cyberpunk TCG, we want to get as many people in a room playing our game as possible, right? So that's going to be our Edgerunner Regional Open. The Edgerunner Regional Open is going to be our regional equivalent event. This is going to be an event that has, 4 figures in players. We're getting people in the door. We're getting tons of players to come and play at these events. Our goal with our competition level events, our convention level events, is to make it feel like this is a Cyberpunk convention, with the main event being a tournament. We want the Cyberpunk experience to be first and foremost presented to every single person that walks into our convention hall when we're running these events, with the opportunity not only for every player that makes top cut at this event to get an invite to the Black Sapphire Invitational Championship. We were talking exclusive prizes, exclusive entry packages, every single opportunity to show something different to competitive players who are willing to travel and invest in our game will be present at the Edgerunner Regional Open. And those will be starting with set 1. So that's very exciting. I should mention the District Opens will be starting during set 2. But if you want to get started early, we will be offering Edgerunner Regional Opens during set 1. Then finally, the event that I've been talking about that these 2 events lead up to before we get to the World Championship, we have the Black Sapphire Invitational Championship, and this is going to be our invitational event. Think of it as your national or your continental. The players that got their qualifications from the Night City District Open and the Edgerunner Regional Open will feed directly into the Black Sapphire Invitational in their region. This is going to be the opportunity for players to really prove who is the best in a region. And not only that, but there will be incentives for playing that will then lead to the World Championship. We're going to be continuing to push forward with the Black Sapphire Invitational as far as exclusive events, exclusive prizing, side events that every person in this game, every person that cares about the Cyberpunk TCG, you want to be at your region's Black Sapphire Invitational. We want to reward people for coming to hang out with us, for coming to cosplay, for just coming to enjoy the experience of being at a Cyberpunk TCG event alongside all of those people that are making the qualification. And of course, you want to make sure that when you go, even if you don't have an invite, you want to play for it. So this is going to be a big weekend-long event, 3-day event. LCQs, last chance qualifiers, will be offered to players so that they can get into that main event.
Very cool.
Yes, and not only that, the best of the best will be playing at these. So if you want to prove that you're a legend in Night City, you go to the Black Sapphire Invitational. Invite only, guys. You got to get your invite. And then finally, of course, a TCG wouldn't be complete without a World Championship. The Cyberpunk TCG World Championship, we have a lot of ideas cooking up with it, and it is going to be the most preem of preem opportunities to play our game. We're looking forward to continuing to work with CDPR to make sure that this World Championship is absolutely unforgettable. We don't have too many details about it, but just know Black Sapphire Invitational, we're starting on set 3. World Championship will happen sometime after that, but we can confirm the World Championship for the first year will be an open invitation event, so there won't be any kind of invites feeding into that event for the first year. We want every single person that cares about this game to have a reason to come to our first World Championship. It will be the ultimate celebration of not only the Cyberpunk TCG, but Cyberpunk as a whole. However, if you do well at the Black Sapphire Invitational, you'll get some stuff that will help you get there. We aren't ready to go into details about that too much, but the World Championship will, of course, be the ultimate reason to be involved with this game. If you approach the Cyberpunk IP in any way, we want you at our World Championship. That's, wow.
Amazing.
That was a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
All the information's
I
out.
actually
Well done,
didn't.
Nick.
I actually
Well
didn't.
done. That was
Yeah.
like
That was incredible.
Appreciate you.
I didn't even want to stop the man. He was so on point. It was just like, keep on going, keep on going.
I do want to shout out, the names that we have.
Yeah.
Black Sapphire, Edgerunner, Night City. We have an incredible writing team.
Yes, yes, we do.
between Madeline and Emmanuel. They've come up with these like phenomenal. I think these are the best named events in the TCG space.
Yeah.
And you're just like you can imagine you're gonna feel like you're stepping into the universe of Cyberpunk. And that's really what we want to do.
Yeah, it's really cool because you guys have been working with us and talking to our lore team to keep things always on lore and just to keep it, real and how it is supposed to be for Cyberpunk. So kudos to you guys for actually keeping in touch with us on even the small, like minute details. I'm not gonna say like this is beautiful. There's a lot of questions in chat. Will this be in Brazil? Will this be in France? Will this be in Germany? Will this be in Poland? Will this be here, there, where? I think with the structure that you showed, starting with the local game store as the foundation for organized play, I think it's important to showcase that whoever will be distributing will have the possibility to organize pre-releases and then the weekly brawls where you can actually come in and become part of the community or start building a community for the card game, which I think is super important for us as CDPR and for you guys at WeirdCo. So when it comes to availability, like what's the overall idea when it comes to distribution?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that a little bit. If you're a retailer and you've gone through our process, you've already seen we have about a dozen or so different distributors in different regions that we've been talking to, whether it's in Europe or in Asia or in North America, Oceania. We're pretty much covered globally at this point, and we're going to be working with our local distributors to put on some of these events. Obviously, some of these events we'll be putting on, we'll be contracting it out. We want as many chances to play the game, whether it's at the local game store or at a competitive level, as we can offer. And so TBD on kind of every single region, every single country. I know everybody wants to, be a part of it. I will say that as part of the Kickstarter, as part of this kind of initial phase where we're before the full launch, this is where we're kind of gathering the data, where we're figuring out where are the most excited fans, most excited communities, and obviously that's where we're going to invest resources first and foremost.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that answer.
Makes sense.
Do you have any ideas in terms of formats? Is it going to be best of 3, single elimination, or is there going to be any elements of side decking? So there's questions that are also coming in terms of like the overall structure of the tournaments.
I think our best answer that we can give at this point is that if you've played a competitive TCG, you'll find a lot of elements to be familiar here. Our number one intention when it comes to running events is we don't want to reinvent the wheel in ways that it doesn't need to be reinvented. We want our event structure and how people play this game at a high level to be familiar yet innovative. And we don't want to innovate in ways that will pull away from somebody's common understanding of the TCG experience. As far as specific details when it comes to best of 3, best of 1, sideboarding, we'll be revealing those details at a later date. However, what I do want to reassure all of the players and all of the people who are interested in our game that are watching this stream, we are going to provide you an opportunity to jump right into this TCG in ways that you feel comfortable doing, but we also want to introduce opportunities that are going to let you experience the TCG world in different, unique ways. I think that's probably the very best answer that I can give at this moment.
It's a great answer.
There's a lot we want to talk about. There's a lot that we're revealing today, and a lot we're going to be revealing over the course of not only this campaign, but the next several months.
Yeah, I'll take it one half step further.
What do we got, Luhan?
Just teasing folks a little bit. What Nick is trying to say is that we actually have some pretty innovative plans for organized play. Today is not the day where we're doing the full reveal, so we're not going to say too much. But I'll say a few things. One is, a lot of people do ask us, hey, are you going to have cash prizes for your organized play? I hate to disappoint folks, but the first thing I'll say is that we are not going to do cash prizing. We will have product and trophies and all of this stuff, but we're not going to go focus on kind of that element of the competitive community. Instead, we're going to do something very different. That's going to be in deep partnership with CD Projekt Red. We're very honestly, this is one of the things that makes this partnership so cool, that we get to kind of throw out a crazy idea, and we thought that we would get shut down, but here we are. And
we love crazy ideas, just so you know.
Exactly. And so that's super exciting. Now, the one hint I suppose I will give is that one TCG that came out, over a decade ago, I think, that's a strong inspiration for some of the ideas that we have, both internally here at WeirdCo, but also on the CDPR side, is Legend of the Five Rings. So if people are familiar with that, maybe they can start imagining what we're talking about, but that's it. We're not going to say anything else. That's it for today. We will have way more to reveal in the future, though.
I cannot wait to talk more about this in the future. Yeah,
we'll let the people on Discord try
definitely,
to decipher that.
It's something that every time I personally hear updates about it, I get very, very, very excited. The one thing I'll note, they're asking about formats and best of 3 and stuff. Again, I think Nick answered it beautifully. As somebody who has been involved in competitive circuits on the casting side and playing side, something that I think is really unique to our game, and it'll be very interesting to see once we get to these high-level events, is because our game is there's a limited amount of turns, right? That will be very interesting compared to what a lot of other TCGs do, such as, you've got round timers, you've got these different things. So I think our game, there will be some hype moments, but it should be pretty swift as well, which I'm honestly, in doing events, I'm sure you can say a little bit more about this, Nick, but it's important to keep the flow going more than anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah, that's the big thing that we've noticed, and one of the lessons we're trying to learn from other areas of the industry is how very often large events in particular, they can be a grind. We're talking people are playing until 10 p.m. at night and they got to the venue at 9 a.m. Our game is fast, which we have a benefit of that will help things move right along, but we want our tournaments to be snappy. We want all of our, tournament partnerships to be at the service of our community, to give them a memorable experience in all the good ways and none of the bad. The important primary motivation for me as somebody who's run countless TCG events, I've run over 1,500 TCG events before my time at WeirdCo, and I'm looking forward to running many more. But that being said, the biggest lesson from those is how do we efficiently give people the experience that they expect while also surprising them with the joys of playing a TCG with so many people. And rest assured, WeirdCo crew, Cyberpunk TCG community, you're in good hands when it comes to that. We want to make sure that all of our tournaments, not even just large tournaments, every single tournament that happens under the Cyberpunk TCG banner, we want to make sure is moving efficiently and snappy, and every single person is having the experience they signed up with and more.
Awesome.
Well said.
Terrific.
Well said. I really like I have to say, personally, I really like the accessibility. So actually starting in grassroots and trying to build up, and that you guys are already showcasing a very early structure, which is well structured. So super exciting. Also, there was a question if you guys are planning to have like a website or additional type of app where we can track our progress, have like a number, dedicated player number and stuff like that.
Yes, those are in the cards. We're not ready to announce any details about any kind of partnership or development there today, but rest assured, this is something that's being talked about daily. We are inching closer to being able to have a full announcement about, what technology we're using, what kind of software you can expect to interact with when you're playing this game, how you can track, calling back to Luhan's hint, there's a lot of data to be tracked. There's a lot of decisions to be made as a player when you choose how to engage with the TCG. And as a data-driven company, it's all about making sure that players can look at the experience they've had, they can see how they've grown, and then we can capitalize on that, by having a software that tracks that and rewards them for the continued effort that they're putting into the game. Like I said, you invest in us, we invest in you, and we want that to be present at every step of the way in organized play.
Yeah, I think it was so important for us to really want to get this message across during this stream, right? Organized play is such an important thing to so many TCG players, and with the Kickstarter coming out tomorrow, we wanted to let you guys know that this is something we are taking very, very seriously. We want to grow a community for this game across the world, globally. So yeah, I share your thoughts, Nick. I'm very excited to speak more about it, but even to go into this level of detail right now, I think folks will be very, very happy with this. But
I'm excited. Can I play if being a CDPR employee?
That's
Or
a good
am I
question.
expelled from playing?
You can play in the gunslinger events.
That's the safe answer.
we
Thank you.
can do a play against the Cyberdeck podcast hosts
Oh,
section.
There you go.
That would
There
be
was
awesome.
there was a question from Amelia from CDPR who does community and social media on our side. She was asking if there's going to be a game between the two of us today, but not today. But
today.
we need to make that happen.
We will make that happen.
Yes,
We will make
yes.
that happen.
Me and
yeah.
Cree head to head.
So talking about
I'm
more
afraid.
things to come, physical events and stuff. We will be attending quite a few events. So Lorna, if you could speak about some of the upcoming ones that we have.
Here we
or-
go.
or-
Go for it, Nick.
Oh, yeah. So we're very excited to be announcing up until release all of the events that you'll find the WeirdCo team at. So we are going to be at PAX East at the end of this month. That is a little over a week away here. 1 week from now, a little over 1 week from now, the Weird Co team, myself included, will be in Boston for PAX East. You can find us at booth 12087. Simultaneously, at the first week of July, we'll be at Anime Expo with CDPR as well. We'll also be at Gen Con, one of the largest tabletop conventions in the world. Certainly,
I'm also gonna be there.
and you'll get to see Berza. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
I
amazing.
want to play some games with people. So you better be there. If there was a question actually in chat when we were talking about art, if I remember correctly, there was a question specifically if we're gonna be at Gen Con. So now this answers the question. We're gonna be at Gen Con.
Yes.
I'm also gonna be there. If you want to get your hands on the game, play against someone from Weird Co. For me, I'm
Let's do
totally
it.
down.
I'm
Let's
excited.
do it.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
Yeah, sorry to
And-
cut you off.
Oh, all good, no problem. We
Just excited.
appreciate that. I think we're all very excited here, understandably so. And of course, Gen Con is a huge deal, but it is not the biggest tabletop convention in the world. That honor goes to Spiel Essen, and we're very happy to announce that we'll also be at Spiel Essen. You will see my face at all of these events. And I'm very much so looking forward to show you how to play this game and give you all the information that we can at any of these different conventions. If you are going to any of them, please do say hi. We would absolutely love to meet fans of our game, give you an opportunity to try it out, learn more. We're doing a lot of different things at each of these different shows. And, you know, we had a great time talking to retailers last week at our, you know, sort of first coming out party, getting the game in front of people for the first time last week at Gamma, 2 weeks ago at Gamma, excuse me. And these four are going to be a really great opportunity to get people to try out our game in a public environment.
I just want to add, I know I'm seeing a lot of comments, people asking, oh, can we come here? Can we go there? This is not the end of the list. Let's put it that way. These are the events we're committing to attending today on the stream today. We are working with, as we mentioned earlier, distribution partners, additional partners perhaps, where potentially it's not Weird Co that is represented, but maybe the Cyberpunk TCG can still be represented via one of our partners, like a distributor or retailer or somebody else. But our goal is to be as many events as we can. Obviously, we're in the kind of early phases of launching a game, but as the game kind of comes out, you should expect us to be pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As many places as we can be, right? As you can see, Essen Spiel is a big one for us as Europeans, right?
Totally. It's
So-
a must place to be. I think I will try to sneak myself into that one too. But Gen Con, if you're here on the other side of the pond, let's say, then it's a must go. So those two, if you're in Europe or if you're in the States, these are the two events to go to. So mark those in your calendars, and yeah, we'll see you there.
For sure. Yep. I think just to close off this section, we have a little bit of details about retailers. So, Lohan, if you want to talk about this a little bit, it would be great.
Yeah, we just want to make a couple of clarifying points. First of all, the booster displays are in the Kickstarter. They are 36 packs, which is going to be different than the booster displays that are going to be in the retail version of the product, which will have 24 packs. So just want to make sure everybody knows these are two different SKUs, and we have different cards actually in both the Kickstarter and the retail, and so there's some differentiation. For if you've listened to this and you're a retailer staff member, let's say, you can today contact your distributor and ask them how to order the product. You can also go on our website. We have a retailer section. There's a lot of information for you on there as well. And for the players who want to see the game at their local game store, well, the best thing you can do is ask your store to talk about the game to their distributor. Tell them that you're interested in carrying the product. The best thing for us to push the game is to have actual consumers go up to their local retailers and say, hey, I'm interested in building a community, in being a part of the Cyberpunk TCG. And so I see some comments in the chat here and there of like people being like, oh, I hope my retailer, local retailer will carry this. Well, the best thing you can do is just express that you're interested. That goes a really, really long way for retailers to carry the product.
The players are going to be the ones that make sure that this game gets in the hands of the community, right? So it is, I cannot express that enough yet, Lohan. Like, it is so important to, if you want to see this game on the shelves at your local game store, please let them know that you're interested.
Let them know.
Yeah, 100%.
They need to
Cool.
get
I
the
think
game.
that wraps up the organized play section pretty much. I'm sure, there's lots of questions, probably questions that we can't answer at the moment. But Nick, is there anything that you want to say before we we move on to the next section?
Well, I think we're doing something differently when it comes to how players can interact with the Weird Co team, with the Cyberpunk TCG. We want to be readily available to answer these questions as we can. Of course, like you mentioned, Kree, there are some things that can't be answered today, but for the rest of the day today, I'm going to be engaged with our Discords, both for retailers and for our community. I'll be in our Facebook group for retailers. I'll be all over. I want to make sure that any questions are answered. So if you guys need anything, once I'm done on stream here, I'm going to hop right into the chat and I'll be happy to talk directly with you guys. We want to make sure that we are all readily accessible to you. We want to make sure that you feel as though your voice is heard and what you're looking for in our TCG. And we want to make sure that our community is getting taken care of in the same way that they're going to take care of us when we finally get all of our Booster Box product and you guys choose to go to your LGS to play our game. And yeah, I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to work on such an amazing project with such amazing people. So I cannot wait to launch a rocket to organized play. And I think that's the best capper I can possibly have.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yep. Sounds great. Well, thank you guys so much.
Amazing segment. Super well organized.
Yep.
As organized place should be.
Indeed.
You see what I did there? I hope people appreciate that.
Yeah,
one.
I appreciate it. So yeah, I think we're gonna have one more section coming up
Yes.
shortly, kind of discussing Kickstarter, some logistics stuff as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick break and then we'll jump straight into that. Don't go anywhere, guys.
In the official Cyberpunk Trading Card Game, you and your rival are the leaders of legendary crews competing for control of Night City. Book your own gigs and steal your rival's gigs to up your street cred. The first crew to start their turn with 6 gig dice becomes legendary and wins the game. Here's how to get the job done. To start, move all your gig dice to the fixer area, then randomize your 3 legends by shuffling them face down. Then shuffle the rest of your deck and draw 6 cards. Randomly pick who goes first. That player will start their first turn with 2 legends turned sideways to show they're already spent. And now, you're ready to play. Each turn starts with your ready phase. You'll draw a card, roll and gain a gig die. And ready your spent cards from previous turns by rotating them upright. Next up is your play phase. You might want to start by selling a card with the Eddy symbol, revealing it to your rival and then placing it face down in your Eddy's area. Now you can spend that and any other Eddies you have to pay the cost for other cards you want to play, like a program, which has a one-time effect, or this unit, which stays out on the field, or gear, which attaches to a unit or legend and gives them special bonuses. Whether face up or face down, your legends can also be spent to pay for a card, exactly the same as an Eddy. But when you're ready to add them to your crew, you can spend 2 Eddies to call a legend once each turn, flipping it face up. Legends are iconic characters from the Cyberpunk universe and powerful cards with game-changing abilities. They aren't units by default, but you can call them to add a critical ally to your crew. Once you're done playing cards, it's time to go on the offensive and claim some gigs. You've got 2 options. Attack an opposing spent unit or your rival directly. Spend 1 of your units to target either option. To go after an opposing spent unit, declare your attack and spend your own unit. At this point, you may have an attack trigger that takes effect. After that, your rival will react in defense, where their own defensive effects may trigger, and change the outcome again. Keep a close eye on cards for their triggers. They can happen in combat, when they're first played or flipped, and more. After the triggers are completed, compare the final power of each unit. The unit with the lowest power is defeated, and sent to its owner's trash pile, along with any gear attached to it. If both units have the same power, both are defeated. To claim gigs and get closer to victory, declare an attack against your rival directly. Players will still activate offensive and defensive triggers on both sides as required. If your unit is still in play after, the attack on your rival is a success, and you'll steal at least 1 gig, and another for every 10 power your unit has. The total value of all your gig dice is your street cred, which can unlock bonuses on other cards. You need gig dice to win, but you also want street cred to unlock your most powerful abilities. Once you're done attacking, you end your turn and pass to your rival. The back and forth battle continues as you both play cards, attack, call legends, claim and reclaim gigs, all the way until you roll in your 6th gig from the fixer area. After you and your rival do that, you each get 1 additional turn to make your last move and try to steal gigs. If someone doesn't win by starting their turn with 6 gigs, then the team with the most gigs claims victory. A good strategy makes all the difference. Build around the legends that best suit your playstyle, constructing your deck based on factors like card color type and total RAM limit. Will you stealth and quick hack to avoid direct confrontation, or going guns blazing with all the hustle and chrome you've got? The choice is up to you. How will you run your crew? Who will you be in Night City? And do you have what it takes to become a cyberpunk legend?
All right, we're back with the last segment for today. Like we mentioned when we ended the organized play segment, this one is going to focus on Kickstarter. It's going to focus on some of the questions that are coming in from the community. And we have a new guest joining us, apart from Lohan. Could you introduce yourself?
It's Drew.
Yeah, it's Drew. Yeah, I'm Drew. I'm our logistics and operations manager for WordCo, and that's me. My background is I used to be a game store owner myself in Chicago. I opened Chicago's first board game cafe bonus round about 8 years ago and sold that over the summer to staff. And then during that time, I was also running logistics and distribution for Null Signal Games, who's the makers of Netrunner. Still in touch with all those folks, but I got their whole e-com platform spun up there, getting product from China, getting it to all the customers, and building all that back up. So I've got a lot of logistics experience and a lot of problem solving.
Yeah, it's coming from a Netrunner background.
Yeah, I was going to say.
People are going to be excited about that.
You had me at Netrunner. I was going to say that
that
because that's the card game that actually captured the cyberpunk feel and the authenticity of cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But now we're doing something totally different. It's good to have someone that has that.
Yeah, I remember when you came on the team, I was like, yes, we've got someone who truly
Yes.
understands, what it means to be part of the cyberpunk IP. So all right, I guess we can jump straight into it. So we've got some stuff we want to mention about Kickstarter. So Lohan, the first thing is we've got some awesome exclusive partners. So talk to me about some of these partnerships.
Yeah, super exciting. I mean, for those of you who have been paying attention to our social media, you've seen some of this, but we have some phenomenal partners, some of the best, I think, just in the TCG industry. And so just to highlight them here. So first of all, we have CGC, one of the premier card grading companies. We got a lot of questions about that. I just want to address those directly. That the reason why we partner with CGC is to really offer a better service, a better product for the end users. Because we have the partnership with CGC, we're able to get folks, greater cards at, frankly, better time turnaround. We're able to calibrate sort of the quality of the card as well. And so basically the idea with the partnership of CGC is that we can make pre-graded cards that we will, we've already announced that it will be part of the Kickstarter tiers, but that will be something that we can continue doing in the future so that if people want to get graded cards, well, you can actually skip that step. We can actually provide that directly, which will save the hassle, the cost, as well as the time that it takes to do the grading. So that's the partnership.
I think it's important to note as well. I saw a lot of questions about CGC, and I want to say first and foremost, Cyberpunk TCG is a game for players. We want people to be at the table. We want people to be engaging at the game. But there are also many players who are also collectors, and there are collectors who are players. So we want to make sure that we have options available for as many folks as possible.
Of course.
And I think this partnership kind of cements that, if you do want to collect your cards, if you do want to keep them in a good condition and stuff, this is a good partner for
and
that.
Also, one thing that we will be doing with CGC is, for example, for our top tier events, for organized play, we will have pre-graded cards so that, you don't have to take the organized play promo and get it regraded. You will have, it done already. And so that'll give extra value for those top tier
That's
events.
fantastic.
So
I've been to plenty of TCG events where I've been handed a promo and it's in a penny sleeve or it's been they hand me the dented promo and knowing that
We've all been there.
you've worked really hard in this event, you've placed very well. Here's your prize. It's pristine. It's protected. That sounds awesome.
It also
scratched or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It also plays into the idea that we're kind of talking about in organized play, to actually the value of competing in the professional stage is actually getting promos that later on will be worth a lot. So actually have something that is pre-graded actually boosts the value of the card that you're getting.
Yeah,
so
you want to
this is
protect.
super important.
It's like a trophy piece as well, right? You've performed so well. It's like a memory that you want to keep. You want to keep safe.
and one thing that I think is pretty cool, we have custom labels that are just for the Cyberpunk TCG with CGC, which is like an extra layer of collectability where you see the our logo on the label.
It feels official.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Will the graded cards be 10s? That's a question from Elworm on Twitch, I think.
Let's say that we will endeavor to make sure that most, if not all, are going to be 10s. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee it will never ship a 9 or 9.5.
Yeah.
But obviously, if we're going to do the promos for the final World Championship, we're going to make sure those are 10s.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Let's talk about Evo Retro next, premium binders. So for those of you who don't know Evo Retro, they kind of made their name by being one of the first top loader binders in the industry. And so they make phenomenal quality binders. We really like partnering with them. And so wait for tomorrow. You guys are going to see the great
Let me
binders.
tell you guys, there are a lot of awesome binders. And if you want, I'm sure you've seen as well.
I'm not somebody who buys a lot of binders. I was telling Lohan, I don't think I've ever bought a binder in my life, despite buying all kinds of other stuff. Deck boxes are like my thing. I saw these binders. I am very excited for these binders. I'm absolutely.
I think there's going to be plenty of options that, there'll be something for everybody, for sure. And Display, the partnership we just showed off, right?
Yeah, with the metal cards. Yeah. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Display is actually a Polish company. And so they've done a lot of things with CDPR over the years. And so we're really excited to partner with them. Burz, I'm sure you know those guys.
I know super well. We partnered with them, like I mentioned before. Anything Witcher or Cyberpunk, all the art, Gwent art also that we had, just became like full-on displays that people have throughout their houses, and they've been like best-selling when it comes to actually displaying the beautiful art that we have within the video game, but also within our own card game, and maybe now in the Cyberpunk TCG.
Yeah, you sell the metal cards.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow when the Kickstarter goes live,
You just gotta enhance, and just make it bigger.
There you go.
Pyramid is a big one, right?
Pyramid's a great one. I mean, for those of
you have them right.
Oh
there.
yeah, sure. We should.
Let's
let's show it off. Yeah.
I don't think we should.
No, you can do it right here.
Hold it up. You got this camera.
There we go, guys.
There we go.
This is one of the Pyramid.
David and Lucy.
Yeah.
This is one of them. I mean, so these guys, Pyramid, they make the best quality cloth playmats in the industry.
Yes.
Yep.
And so
They're also very different when it comes to the normal playmats that you would see because of how they are made. If you could look at like Lohan was showing the back of the playmat.
Yeah, even the back of it.
It's actually
the material
made.
Is very.
Yeah, it's a material that will last because, as you know, normal playmats are these neoprene type. They, after a longer period of time, they kind of get crumpled and they start like losing bits and pieces. With these playmats, they're fully cloth. They're beautiful, and the art on them is just also incredible.
All screen printed by hand.
Yes, yeah. So
incredible
quality is like, and if you're a Judy fan, you're gonna actually appreciate this.
They're
one.
very like artisanal. They're really, really, really.
So this is and it's actually cool because of the size of them. I feel like 2 players can go head to head on them, which is like super cool too. So if you have this one and you rock up to your LGS, just blast it on there, and everybody can.
It's quite common for these type of playmats as well. So as you know, if you could hold it up just one more time, Lohan, this one for example. So there's actually kind of 2 sides to it, right? So if you want a lot of people fold their playmat, right? So you can show off the Judy, and then if you want, you can show off the other side. which is we've got like the
So many
box.
options
Yeah.
with this. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm stealing one of those when we end.
Take it home.
Just
with you.
one. Just one.
So
Just one.
these, just to be clear, these will be available on the Kickstarter. So this is, I think, the premiere, the
It
reveal
is.
for them.
Yeah, to actually show them off, correct?
Yeah. So they're real. We're gonna have
They're
them.
here.
That's
Yeah.
Pyramid.
Yeah.
Next, everybody knows Dragon Shield, the premier sleeve partner in the industry.
I mean, come on. If you play TCGs, you know Dragon Shield.
If you play TCGs, you know Dragon Shield. We're gonna have the dual matte variant, which is their highest end Dragon Shield in terms of quality.
Great
And
shuffle feel. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
the best shuffle feel in the
personally,
industry.
I
Come
don't use
on.
anything besides Dragon Shield.
Same,
so when I heard of this
same.
partnership, I was like, yes,
Yes,
come on.
same.
I was
Always
like,
double
Yep.
sleeve. Remember, always double sleeve.
Yep.
They have inners, outers. They also have the dual mask, like you mentioned. All that product is
But yeah,
amazing.
you guys are gonna see, what these options will look like once the Kickstarter goes live tomorrow. And to be honest, just for clarification, please be sure to join us. We're gonna have another stream tomorrow. Where us as a team, we are gonna go through the entire Kickstarter page, show off the product, talk to you guys. So please join us.
It's also
join us
going to
tomorrow.
be very, very chill. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah,
I was,
it's gonna be a big celebration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had I known, I would have put my hair up today. It'll be hard to put my hair up with the headphones on,
Yeah.
but we'll have
You
my
just
hair
gotta-
up.
You can
you
leave
just
a
gotta-
slot, right? You can leave a
Yeah,
slot.
that's exactly what
yeah,
we'll do.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
have a little
leave,
slot. There we
leave
go.
a little bit in the middle.
yeah.
We'll be fine.
And
then-
Dispel's a big one as well.
Yeah, last but not least, Dispel Dice. I mean, for those of you who have followed the TCG so far, you guys know how incredibly important dice are inside of the game mechanic. We've shown up some dice in terms of the alpha kit, but we are going to have some of the nicest dice in the industry. If you guys are familiar with Dispel, they make some of the best premium dice out there. And why don't we just show?
Yeah, I think we should show some. Right?
Let's just show
we
it.
should.
Yeah.
This is something we were gonna hold back until tomorrow, but
I don't know if I've seen the dice yet.
oh well.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
it.
true.
You got it.
Here we
got it.
have the Atom Smasher
Oh,
variant
Dice.
of
Oh, man.
the premium Dispel dice, and these are of course product renders, but when you see these in person, we got some samples, Lohan, and they look absolutely stunning.
I
Amazing.
love this where it has like the layer below, and we can have art or icons showing through them. Oh, those are sick.
Yeah, so you can see here, this is kind of an Atom Smasher Arasaka themed dice set. We may have a couple of other characters, couple of other themes that you
Yeah.
guys will be able to explore within the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I was surprised because I didn't know Dispel until you guys introduced me to them when we did the first gameplay showcase back in January. Yeah,
Correct.
January was my birthday. Yeah.
Yep.
So I got actually a sample of dice from Dispel, and I just have them displayed in a box. I won't even touch them. They're so beautiful. There's so much like intricacies when it comes to the little details and the etchings and how they're kind of created, and it's like it feels like a premium.
It's an
dice set,
extremely
yeah.
premium product.
It's
Yeah,
incredible.
we're going to have, as Cree hinted at, multiple variants for folks to take a look at. I think it's going to be pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. I also want to clarify, we were teasing out our pledge tiers over the past few days, and I think a couple of folks were seeing in the higher tiers we have, some premium accessory bundles.
Yep.
I want to make it abundantly clear that all of these things you're seeing, the pyramid cloth play mats, the Dispel dice, these will all be available as add-ons, as optional buys, in addition to your pledge tier. So, if you want to get one of the lower tiers and then you also want to get some dice, get some play mats, you can 100% do that for
Or
sure.
you can get one of the higher tiers that has them and just get more dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we got some. I know we have some dice goblins on the team.
Yes,
So, yeah, I'm sure we'll be collecting some ourselves. But yeah, let's move into talking a little bit about maybe some rough timelines, some logistics. So we'll move into some shipping timelines here. So Lohan, talk to me about express shipping. And Drew, you're the
You got me
logistics
here.
guy, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk express shipping. So we're looking to start fulfilling in Q3. At end of summer, Q3, we'll be sending stuff out to backers, and that's going to be their pledge tier rewards. So the cards primarily. So we're talking starter decks and booster displays is what we'll be fulfilling then. Past that, accessories, other add-ons. I think tier 1 and 2, I believe, as far as pledge tiers go, those will all be fulfilling Q4 of the year. Really, our priority there is that we want to get cards to players as fast as possible. And sure, we could wait longer and we could get everything out in Q4, but I don't know about you guys, but I think we want to start cracking packs as soon as we can.
Yeah,
So-
just to add on the just to explain this even a little bit more, the express shipping is made possible via air freight, meaning we're basically taking pallets and we're putting it on a plane, and it's a cargo plane that gets shipped to the USA, Europe, other places around the world. Obviously, that is more expensive than putting the pallet into a container and putting the container on a ship. But obviously, the ship is a lot slower. And for those of you who are interested in the nerdy world of logistics,
Yeah, I can nerd out for a second.
yeah, well, there are some disruptions, let's say, in the world of logistics, in the world of shipping. There are some geopolitical things happening that sometimes make it so that the ships have to find different routes. It's a bit of a mess out there. There's also duties and tariffs and DAT. It's a whole mess of things that we're wrangling and managing through. Drew here.
We got to thread the needle. Yeah,
Exactly.
So we're talking that, a ship from China to Long Beach, a slow boat might take something like 45 days, but we want to get stuff to everybody faster once it's ready at the factory and get it as fast as possible. So for that express shipment, that's us putting it on a plane. That's obviously going to cost more, but we're going to absorb a lot of that cost and just to try to get it to everybody faster.
We're prioritizing. Yeah, we're prioritizing the cards themselves. If people want to play this game as soon as possible, we're going to make sure that happens. And to be clear, when you go and visit the Kickstarter page, it will be very, very clear. The shipping stuff will say whereas what's eligible for like express shipping, what's standard shipping. But I think it's really important to talk about this, right? To help people understand, the differences.
And Drew, you mentioned China. I just want to say, in terms of manufacturing, we are still at the stage where, look, the team has a lot of experience with printing TCGs. We printed TCGs in Europe, in America, in Japan, in China. We have multiple options at this point of where to print. We might go with one printer. We might go with several printers. I think we're down to the consideration set right now of printing either in Japan or with Chinese printers. I know with Chinese printers, there's some, I would say, bad experiences that other people have had, in the TCG space where the quality hasn't been quite as high for especially other Kickstarter TCGs. I just want to make sure to be clear that we're not working with the same manufacturers that other Kickstarter TCGs have worked with in China. We're actually working with folks that have a sizable quality bar. And so one of the things that we've done, and people might notice it in the wild, is that we actually have printed the alpha kits from different printers.
Yep.
And that's, it's a true alpha where we're trying to test out the print quality, the card quality, the way of working together with things. And so we have sampled, over a dozen printers so far. So we are heavily investing in the print manufacturing, capability here at WeirdCo. And I think, that's something that in our experience, we're probably the only ones that are so aggressively pursuing manufacturing sampling at this stage.
We've been meticulous.
Yes. And so, this is a shout out for, something obviously that Drew and I take care of it, but it's also Johnny and Matthew that you guys saw earlier and the rest of the team that's like really focused on making sure that from a print perspective, both the quality, the capacity, the timeline, the logistics, there's a lot of consideration that goes into it. But just rest assured that we are taking, we're doing our due diligence on it. We're being meticulous about it. And we're planning on delivering a high quality product on time.
Yeah. And all I would say on there is there's a lot of details that go into it. There might be 10 things, 20 things. We got to make sure every single one of them's right, exactly up to the standards that we want. All the treatments on our iconic cards down to our commons and the boosters, that everything is exactly how we want. The card stock we have, we think it really makes our art pop to just the best possible level.
Yeah, I'll also add down to like collation and stuff, right?
Yeah.
We want to make sure that everything is correct. We don't want things to be missing. We want things to be accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate to what we say.
You want to hear me nerd out about things? We can talk coalition. I have spreadsheets on spreadsheets on spreadsheets of coalition, and kind of cracked the code on that a little bit.
Nice.
But
yeah, I saw this was super important. Also, when I talked with Lohan in January, you actually brought over some samples in terms of cards and how they were cut, and also how the foil treatment was done on them. And what I saw instantly was very important for you and for the rest of the team is actually to get the quality to a very, very high place, which, as we know in the TCG space, can be somewhat not always the case, because sometimes cards really they lose, let's say, their shine very quickly, or they become crimpled, or the finish is just like kind of done very quickly and without additional thought. And we can see from even the metal cards, the normal cards, the foil, the Nova Rares, and all that, there's a lot of detail put into this, and I think it will be appreciated by the TCG community overall.
Yeah, I'll just add a one more note on that, which is, we mentioned this earlier, but we really have a team of veterans, people that are experienced, that have worked on other TCGs in the past. And so what's really cool about working at Weird Co is that we have all of these subject matter experts in their respective lanes. And so when it comes time to doing things like collation and higher rarity stuff, the print treatment, there's so much community knowledge and experience already, but then we're building on top of that because we're all so excited to work on this project, obviously, and I think that's kind of like part of the magic of what we're building here, and it's just so invigorating to be a part of the team every single day, and I can't wait for people to get access to the product because I think they'll be pleasantly surprised by what we can do.
Everybody's very passionate, and I mean, like, a big part of it, us getting to work on the Cyberpunk IP, at least to me personally, very big deal. As a tried and true punk rocker for years, so
respect.
Gotta represent.
Yeah, so we have express shipping. What about standard shipping for
so
others that are
Drew
kind of
touched
waiting
on
for
it
that?
a little bit, but we can go back to getting into this. Yeah, for the standard shipping, all remaining items that will be accessories, that will be stretch goals, that will be remaining starters and displays. These will be shipped in Q4, and stretch goals in particular. We don't have a graphic in this for you folks yet, but if you've been paying attention to the pledge tiers that we teased out, we mentioned something called a beta box. And
I was just about to ask how much did we actually spend?
Well, people want the clarification on what is the beta box versus the beta displays. So the beta box, I guess we can speak about it briefly, and you guys, we'll show it off in its full form tomorrow. But the beta box is going to be something that, as stretch goals are met throughout the campaign, as the Kickstarter starts to grow, different items will be added to the beta box.
Yeah, everything I think tier 3 and higher,
correct,
is going to have the beta box included, and basically everybody at those tiers, whatever gets added to that beta box, all of them are going to get it. There's some really cool stuff.
There is some very, very, very cool stuff. Some extra goodies, some pack upgrades. Again, we will digest all of that info tomorrow when we go through it. But
tomorrow 9 a.m. PT.
PT.
So if you want to join us, that's gonna happen tomorrow. So we're gonna go tier by tier.
It's funny, like in my head, I'm like, I got to be careful not to spoil anything, but it's gonna be tomorrow.
I know it's crazy. It's we were speaking about since when we were in Warsaw with you last for the Red Stream, the time has just
flown.
We're already here.
Yeah. We're
Should we do a spoiler right now?
Yeah, please. Let's do it.
Well, I mean, why don't we show the Rebecca card?
You want to show the Rebecca card?
Yeah.
Let's just show it.
I can show the Rebecca card. It will give me a minute. I'll take a minute to pull it up. But if we have any questions, we can go.
Let's answer some questions while you pull it up. Yeah,
sounds great.
Yeah, there were some questions about localization. Are we thinking about any type of localization for the game itself? There were some questions about like Polish localization specifically because we have a very like crazy Polish community, and they were asking if there will be like Polish events, let's say. In the future, will there be any accents that kind of play into specific regions and countries?
Great question. So in terms of localization, just for the Kickstarter will be in English. The retail version, we will start to have localization. And so the first language, and we've announced it sort of on the retailer side, we will have a French localization. Actually, I grew up in Montreal, so I speak French personally, so it's close to me. But then also, you mentioned Polish. Polish, we're going to have sort of a, let's say, half localization. And so the booster box product will still be in English. And this is market feedback that we've received from Polish distributors, LGS owners, that basically the cards themselves, people prefer to have them in English. But however, a lot of the marketing, a lot of the demo materials, even some promo cards, we want to have a Polish version of it. And obviously,
other languages too.
And other languages will do the same thing. But in general, with Polish, it's a priority for us to focus on the Polish market. We have Anya on the team who lives in Warsaw. who used to work with you, Paul.
Exactly.
On Gwent, and so we're going to be investing heavily in Polish events, etc. And so there's going to be a bigger strategy there.
Yeah. So
localization is important to us. It also it takes a lot of lead time to get all of the stuff locked in on localization, and we are sensitive to like doing it right, because we've seen recently in other games where maybe you have 2 different cards or the same card in 2 different languages and they play differently unintentionally. We're trying hard to avoid stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I think it's also important to have things that kind of cater to specific communities. But like you said, I think it's also important to have the card game, the cards themselves, be in English. Because as we know from TCGs, if you have multiple languages, it kind of muddles the water a little bit and kind of muddies the water, I want to say.
Consistency.
So consistency is very important. And also when it comes to value of the cards, like the English cards always hold the highest value, so you want to keep those as the most important
Cool.
ones.
Well, I think I have the Rebecca to show off.
Perfect.
It might come onto the stream a little bit big, but let's see if we can
hit it.
We can show it off. There it is. So this Rebecca is going to be part of. We had a section in the Kickstarter for Tier 7 talking about serialized metal cards. Some of the metal cards that we showed off there was, the Hanako, but this Rebecca is going to be one that is available at the very, very, very highest tier of the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And
she's a fan favorite from Edgerunner Season 1. So I mean, if you want to get your hands on it, now's the time.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. People have been very, very curious about what these serialized metal cards will look like,
especially the higher tier stuff. And when it's serialized, you only
everybody's
have
excited to see the
limited
edgerunners
amount
in there. And
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got we saw the Lucy promo card. We saw the David playmat. We're seeing the Rebecca. We can see this the sprinkling of edgerunners throughout the start for the Kickstarter here. But we're gonna have so much more to show off tomorrow once the Kickstarter is live. But yeah, if there's any other questions that anybody has,
should we do a giveaway?
Actually, I wanted to get to that at the end, but maybe we could still kind of grab a couple.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you guys haven't had any hardball ones for logistics yet.
I mean, we're trying. I mean, everybody's nice. There were questions about kind of official dice products. If there's going to be official dice, maybe not only the ones that we showed from our partners, but kind of also metal dice, for example, stuff like that. Since we're showcasing metal cards, there were questions like that. So when it comes to like playing around with different types of products, kind of premium products, and also some cool other products, are we thinking about stuff later on after Kickstarter and stuff?
We're
like
always
that?
thinking about stuff.
All right.
I'm always thinking to the future of what else we're going to be doing. One of the considerations with metal dice is they can get pretty heavy, and when you're playing with TCG cards, you got to be really careful not to damage the cards with the dice.
Very true.
And so that's something we want to watch out for with the metal dice. And that it's not out of the question. It's just we want to make sure that too sharp edges, too heavy, that you're not dinging and denting the cards as you're playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, for the Kickstarter, I'll say that we currently have something around 90 different SKUs on the Kickstarter for add-ons and accessories, and so there's going to be a lot of selection to go through already. That doesn't mean we've covered every single permutation and variation that's possible out there. And so we will continue to do cool things after the Kickstarter, but there will be quite a few selection possible for
inclusion dice. There's a lot of cool, if you've ever seen those, it's like dice that have something embedded within the dice.
Yeah.
It's a little different than the Dispel ones. I have some inclusion dice that I would really like for us to make, but that's a future.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
I also
really
want to add on that, you mentioned all of the accessories and different things that we'll have. Like even you said 90 SKUs, right? Even when this Kickstarter goes live, I will say even regardless of stretch goals, we are going to be dropping some new things throughout the campaign. So please be sure to stay tuned. Follow the Kickstarter page. We're going to be doing updates as frequently as possible. We want to stay really engaged with the community. That's my core job here at WeirdCo, is listening to the community, receiving the feedback, listening to what they want to see. And we're going to have some really, really big beats throughout the Kickstarter campaign.
Awesome. And I'd say on having all these add-ons, I mean, we got a lot of stuff in there. The nice part is we're trying to keep the decision part of it, of what you want to get, pretty simple. That a lot of that can be done during the pledge manager. So you say, hey, I want one of these premium dice. Well, you might not have to decide until it comes time to actually pick on the pledge manager, that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will there be online shop that you guys personally run to buy product, for example?
After the Kickstarter, we will have some kind of online store, TBD on what kind of product that we put up there. We're probably not going to put the booster displays. We want the booster displays to go into retail.
Yep.
Makes
Yeah.
total
So
sense.
having other things that still players are getting excited about, whether they're accessories or peripherals or all this other stuff. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say as a card game player, always give back to your local game store. So that's where you should be getting your product. So hit up your favorite one. If you have a local community there, that's how you build a community, is by pretty much following and kind of getting product from them, because it keeps the lights on for them.
Yep.
And lets them organize events.
If I was just going to hop on that for a second, I always take the chance on my soapboxes. I used to be a retailer myself. I really like that we have somebody on the team who used to be. And so when I'm talking to other retailers, talking to players, I really make it clear that we want to really take care of them, make sure that that they're feeling supported, because they're doing a lot to build our community. Local game stores are where communities gather, and they're putting a lot of work into it to make sure that they feel appreciated and supported.
If I may jump in, I know there's a lot of questions around the drop rates, the cards.
Yeah,
in the
I was
packs.
gonna say cards in the packs and also sets and stuff like that. Could you give us a quick rundown?
I'll explain kind of the overall kind of structure without giving you guys too much precise information. But so first of all, the way we've structured the set is that you have a certain amount of mechanically unique cards. There are different rarities for those unique cards, and then there's a alternate variant, kind of pool of alternate variants that are alternate arts that have different print treatments those are going to be sort of the chase cards, the higher rarity stuff that you're going to be able to get. Pretty, there's quite a few of them, and so the idea is that because there's quite a few of them, we can actually put them in. I don't want to give it two away, but in quantities that are going to be that make it pretty accessible for people to be able to at least pull one of, but to be able to get the one that you specifically want, or to complete the entire set, because we have a lot of variations for the alternate arts. That's going to be where there's going to be a little bit more work to do to collect all of them. And so that's kind of the on the rarity side. In terms of the packs themselves, it's 12 cards per pack. There are some structure within the packs that it's pretty similar to other TCGs. There's nothing too surprising there. And then in terms of, let's say, sets, obviously we have the beta and the retail, which are different SKUs, but share still a pretty substantial card pool together, but they will have differentiations both on the Kickstarter side and the retail side. In fact, the Kickstarter product, we were calling it the beta product, and the retail product is the retail, set one version. And then in terms of future sets afterwards, we're not announcing anything today, but I just want to say that we have many sets in the pipeline, many sets planned in the future. The initial cadence of release will be a little bit slower than other TCGs that are on the market. We want our sets to have chance to breathe, oxygen to be played at a competitive level. We also want our team, the team making the product, to have really the time to really craft something special. And so both things together is why we will initially have a slightly slower cadence of release. We will make sure to announce that when the time comes on just when that's going to come out. But I really don't think it's going to take anything away from just the excitement with all the events that we have for the product. And so, we put a lot of thought into how we're going to do this. And so,
it's big when we're talking about future sets and stuff. We don't want it where we're rushing set after set after set, where whatever most recently came out, you've forgotten about it before you've even been able to crack open any boosters. You want to be able to let it breathe, appreciate the product, appreciate the game.
It's one of the biggest problems in the TCG space, that sometimes the cadence is just too quick. Sometimes
players can't keep up, right?
Players can't keep up, but also sometimes a metagame forms and then players find out late in the meta game something that counters, let's say, the dominant decks within the meta, and it's already too late because a new set comes out, there's new cards, and it already muddles everything and mixes up everything. So yeah, totally. And I think it's also the thing that you guys really pay high attention to is getting products into players' hands. So there's a lot of questions about, well, why Kickstarter? Or is this going to be available in retail? How's this going to work? Like, I think the number one thing for Weirdco is accessibility. That's why Kickstarter, so you can get the products, so you can avoid scalpers and stuff like that. And also working with a wide array of retailers in different parts of the world, actually getting products in their hands so you can get your products. So thinking about all these things and keeping an eye on the TCG space, I think is super important. It's what you guys have been doing. So
For sure.
really awesome. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's
Great.
that's what we have for today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So speaking of giveaways, since Lohan already talked about it. So at the end of the stream, if you haven't joined our Discord, please join it. Go to the announcements channel, and there will be info after the stream that you can claim an alpha kit. So all you have to do is you have to react to that post with an emote of the Bombus. So once you do that, the Bombus is the little cute creature that you might know or don't know. It's a little like robot thing. So click it. You might get picked. It's going to be a raffle style deal. So I hope someone can get their hands on the alpha kit and you can just play the game, enjoy the game, share it with friends. And yeah, if you're in Warsaw, Poland, and you want to play some games, let me know. Yeah, put it out there.
Well, yeah, thank you. I'll say, yeah, thank you, Drew, Lohan. It's been super
anything you guys
informative.
want to?
Yeah, any final words you guys want to say, Drew? I know you've
got a
been
camera
working on
here.
this with us for a while.
I would just say we're going to be rolling out what regions we're supporting with the Kickstarter, and we're still working on finding solutions for more regions. So if people say, hey, what about me? What about my country? Is it on there? Talk to us. We want to make sure that we can get product to you too, and we're going to keep on investigating ways to do so. Our goal is to have a global release, and wherever you are, we want to be able to get product to you. That's really important to me. I think that's the main thing I would say. Just thanks to everybody for being along for the ride.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, Berza. Thank you, Cree. You guys have been awesome putting the stream together.
Our pleasure.
Hosting this thing.
It's this guy mainly.
No.
Man, it's this guy mainly. I just
effort, guys.
I just flew in to have fun with you guys.
This
love
feels
it.
amazing to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing the cyber deck. That's awesome.
Of course.
You know?
Listen, we love that. The episodes are like an hour long. They could honestly be 3 hours.
Yes, we can
love
talk.
doing it.
We can talk for days. It's
Yeah.
easy. That's what we're known for.
For sure.
Yeah, just shout out to the entire team. Again, the team, you guys can't see them. They're right out there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Working on putting in the final touches of the Kickstarter, talking about the future of the product. If you guys were in the room with us, you would feel the excitement, the energy, and the passion for what we're about to do. And so join us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll be back tomorrow. The Kickstarter is going live, like I said, 9 a.m. PT. So you got to translate that into your time zone, wherever you're tuning in from. And after that, we'll also host another stream, which will be, like you said, like a celebration stream. We're going to sit down. We're going to go through the tiers of the Kickstarter and just going to have fun.
We're going to meet
talk.
the team.
We're going to meet the team.
Yeah.
So everybody's here. It's a nice celebration for Weirdco. It's a nice celebration for us to the Project Red. For those that are here, it's only me representing the team. But I know the rest of the team that is overseas is also super excited for this and is tuning in. So shout out to everybody, and we'll